Brendan at the big desk.
Yeah.
Hey guys, 2 o'clock on a busy afternoon here, busy midday, specifically with not one but two big events. Fed Chair Powell comes and goes. Sounds pretty hawkish once again. Despite that, we're seeing decent sized reversal this afternoon in the dollar and also in yields across the board. We've been talking the past couple of days about how not only short-term yields, but the longer ones, 10, 30 year, have been ripping higher once again. We were even higher than yesterday to begin today. We've come off significantly. This is the dollar right now, back downside on a daily chart, coming off Fed Chair Powell coming off some inflation-related data out early on this morning that did help this reversal as well. But yeah, pretty hawkish Fed Chair Powell once again. We'll touch on a few points here. That was Disney. If you missed it, 1.7% downside. Just absolutely grinding right now along the lows, looking like it might want to break even currently. Overall, the S&P 500 still positive on the day. We did bounce back after Powell's speech this morning. Again, he basically said they need more evidence to be certain about the direction that inflation is heading before they give any indication on to when rate cuts might be coming. And that had, the likelihood of a cut in June coming down even further. We saw yesterday with Frank, it was around 56%. We're even lower than that now going out to June. So the possibility of 3 rate cuts still on the table, very much on the table for the remainder of the year. But we're still seeing all kinds of very hawkish talk from Fed members all day long. There's been a few of them. Here's Tesla, meanwhile. Nice reversal back to the upside, 0.6% right now. If you look at the daily chart, pretty small range here overall for Tesla today. A couple of positive notes on that we'll get to in a couple seconds. But yeah, that's when Fed Chair Powell came out. The market really, really strongly reverses to the upside and is now just consolidating basically at day highs. Let's get into a bit of a review here as we get going this afternoon into what we were discussing. If you were with us in the pre-market, we'll talk about Disney winning this proxy battle. All 12 current board members, if you missed it, all 12 current board members re-elected once again for Disney. So no harm done. I mean, we did see it there downside. 7.6% for Intel, meanwhile, taking out the lows here, really teetering on that low on the daily chart right now as well. Coming off this revision and some financials coming out regarding their foundry side of things and the profitability of said foundry going forward, guys, for Intel this morning. It's worth noting, I mean, volume already high here on the daily chart for Intel as well, with still a couple hours to go in the afternoon.
All
yeah,
right.
well, it's not necessarily the profitability of the foundry business, it's the lack of profitability on the foundry business. So, we talked about it this morning, disappointment there because revenue was actually down if you looked at the previous number, and then they're not talking about being profitable. I mean, Pat Gelsinger threw out 2027 potentially. So while 24 might be the trough, that's still, I mean, the market likes to be forward looking, but you're not going to get rewarded for that half of the business ain't profitable for another 3 years. Like, that's a problem. The issue was it never gave the perfect prices to short, which I wanted 42s and 42 change, but we've talked about this. If you think a stock is going up or down, you've got to find the trades the market is giving you and not hope that you're going to get the price that you want. Because if it doesn't happen, like I never got to trade 42 short, you can either just not trade it or you can trade the one chip name that's been trending down the entire day. And excuse me if there's another one, but I'm pretty sure there isn't. So Intel broke the pre-market lows and then short off of that ever since. 41.40 is that bottom. I have a VWAP re-entry here because that's the highest it got in the afternoon, and it's right back at the low that day. Down 7.5%. Where's it going next? Well, maybe nobody asked. Look, you're basically going to have the 200 period moving average play this week. So we're going to get there. I mean, we'll probably get there this week. It's just underneath 40 bucks. I feel like if that gets broken, there's this trend line that's been trading all year long on Intel, and that's at 36. So I feel like, why wouldn't it just be going there? So, we'll probably test that tomorrow, the 200 period moving average on Intel, maybe sometime this week. And then from there, 36 looks like a pretty sure bet if this trend continues down. So it's the one chip name that's been a short the whole way, down 7.5% on a negative catalyst. Not much surprise there. There was no way I thought the market was going to take that positively.
So, wow, if you were with us earlier on today, thank you for supporting and thank you for coming back. And if you haven't been, make sure you join us every single day. This NVIDIA trade right here, I mean, we put something out called the sticky note every single day here at Trader TV, Sean. And I mean, we had NVIDIA written down there. We even talked about it, that we wanted to wait for 905 to break before we did anything about this. Our average price is 902.30 when this was all happening. And then we just took $10 on that. So you know, we got to sort of celebrate when we get wins like that. This is going to be, bar none, the #1 stock, and we still have a little bit of it, waiting for a bigger push down. But we took VWAP on the way down there. I was actually waiting at 888, thinking that we could have got something from the earlier spot here today. That didn't come in. We were able to get out right there. And then I didn't, kind of silly, I could have got out again at VWAP, which maybe I should have. Wasn't sure if we were going to bounce around it. Then this happened. It came right back into $10 again on this trade. But we said this yesterday, and it was kind of just fun to say. But it was about sticking with what you want to do. And we had written down NVIDIA for a short. So yeah, so that's a wrap on that one. I thought we were going to go do Tesla immediately, but I'm glad we did that. Go find me. I tweeted this out. I talked a little bit about that. So really happy with that one. Really, really proud about that trade. And we're still in a bit. So we still have a $3 winner on NVIDIA. Looking for it to really come back into VWAP, to be honest with you. The market's just hovering around, and we'll do some more market talk maybe when it gets back to me. But the market's still not doing anything. So we'll see. It's going to go one way or the other, right? Let's see if it breaks back down to VWAP. I mean, but the market's up today. Yeah. Anyways, a little bit of a confusing market day for sure. But I'm glad that we were able to have some winners on board. And we're going to have another one, another talk soon about Tesla.
All right, let's talk Tesla here. Still downside, as we saw there, coming off a bit of a reversal over lunchtime, really. It was early on this morning, in fact, back to 168. We had a number of different aspects this morning. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negative notes from analysts across the board. If you missed it, shortly after the open this morning, Tesla came out and said in China they were going to start offering 0% interest rate car loans for anyone who picked up Tesla. This coming off, if you saw that chart, a huge monster move down yesterday after delivery numbers for not only the quarter but the month missed expectations. But hey guys, if you're in China, you can get a 0% loan.
Yeah, look at you. Now look,
Pretty good catalyst, I think.
it's you know what? It's not a bad catalyst. It feels more relief rally-ish than that, but we were having this conversation with regards to Disney, actually, Sean and I, that like, you can have a piece of news and then you can look at the stock action, then it's easy to sort of say, well, this is the reason why this happened, and it can always sound logical if you just tailor the explanation to the way the stock ended up going. Like I'm short Disney right now, but I can't tell you, like ahead of time, whichever way the vote went, I actually didn't really know which way the stock was going to go. I was just going to follow the path. For Tesla, I've traded it, well, 3 times, technically twice, because once I was in and out pretty much instantly. But much like yesterday, it just went into the same level. Like it came right, it closed at 160, it was like this 166 half area. We had some wicks above that. So at the open, it was a short into that. I said in the morning show, if it bounces off the bottom, I'm trailing it at the bottom and getting out. So I trailed out of it. I reloaded the same price. It then broke out to the upside. And that's when the trend flipped, and that's when I stopped trading it. So I didn't one and done Tesla, but I didn't trade after 10:30 outside of, I had this short like in and out flat. But Tesla's going to end up right now, it's up 1%. It is a decent shot to be positive. I'm still not completely convinced that it might be up 1%, there might be a good catalyst. I'm just still not completely convinced that this is the turnaround on Tesla. There have been plenty of up days in this downward trend on this stock for the greater part of the year. And you know, unless this is closing above the 50-period moving average, I still feel overall bearish on it, even if I got away from it and sort of took the morning winnings. I still believe it's under pressure, and it's going to have to do some serious convincing that this downward trend is broken.
All right. Yeah. Same thing. I mean, I want to be short. This is, again, it is the #1 idea on the sticky note to be short right around here, 168. So remember at 10 o'clock we had that number, and we were look at this. You know, we were at the low of the day here. This is a 166 short. We were at 163 right before that number came out. And I think going lower, the market completely changed its mind on the day, and so did Tesla. So we got it in again, then we held a little piece there, got some more, got them out, eventually got taken out on a 168 break, got back in, and just got another piece out right now as we hold. I only have 20% left. So you could see 8 outs right here, all about the same. Best out right here at 167.80. These are 168.80s, so that each one of these are $1. The minute we didn't break lower right there, I said, let's use the 50 period as an out. So it breaks higher, we use that as an out. Let's now wait to see if we can get another piece out down here. All right, 167 and change, this is the area for me. Hopefully we can get that, and that's what I'm looking at for Tesla. But I agree, we've been staying short on this for a while, and I do understand right here, where is it? Someone made a note. I just want to make sure I got the
Rob
name
EV.
right. Yeah, Rob EV. No,
yeah.
oh, you did. Okay, I was just going to say I didn't even see what you said.
It's a good point.
It's a good point, but the thing is like you want to get cars. This is in China, so
Yeah.
right now I don't think they're worried too much about their margins. They're just worried about number of cars sold and then getting on the road, and then potentially making money from full self-drive.
Well, I basically said the idea would be an increased market share. But like to me, it goes to the greater point of, well, it's easy to sort of be able to, like after the stock goes up, you can always paint it as a positive story. But you can usually take a lot of stories that you'll hear pundits talk about and analysts. Typically speaking, you can weave something as to this is why the stock is up or down. You hear it all the time. The market goes up, and then all of a sudden there's all these reasons at the end of the day why the market went up or down.
Right.
That you didn't hear anybody talking about during the day.
And
I'm not going to single out any.
That's obvious.
But I'm not going to single out any, as I just pointed, any stations. That's just what analysts are there to do. And when you're trading, you're there to trade. So I don't see a trend broken on Tesla on the daily chart, regardless of what we think of this story. We're going to go to this next. We're going to go to this next one. I will confess to having not traded DJT today, but wow, if you were looking for a technical short setup, this was going to be a good one. But let's get to the lawsuit here with DJT.
Yeah, let's talk DJT here, back downside right now. I zoomed out a little bit on a 15-minute chart just to give perspective here. Really not that significant of a move on the day. Yes, it's down, but it could have been a lot worse the way this thing trades. But if you missed it this morning, co-founders suing the company, essentially saying that they should have a bigger stake in what happens or what is resolved from DWAC initially. So DJT, downside again. I was just keeping an eye on this as well still. Just don't forget about Intel still sitting right at day lows here, guys, also.
Go ahead with Boeing for a second.
Yeah, I was going to say, there was just a story there, Brendan, if you could find it. Boeing just had a pretty huge move down there from 188. I'm going to go short against this 188 right now. Apparently some production issues there on one. I don't know if it was a 737 MAX. I'm not sure exactly, but it doesn't seem like it's really having an end of the day kind of move here. But anyways, I just want to bring that to your attention. So if you guys were looking, it is a brand new position. So we'll see what happens here with Boeing as Brendan's got it now.
Yeah, just a quick production update. It looks like production hitting single digits since late March. So that's not good.
No, that doesn't.
I mean, I was just going to say that's not good, but I don't know if that's good or not. Like, I mean, it might be a bad number, but were they projecting that?
Yeah, I don't know.
We do know that there was shutdowns in their plant due to obvious concerns about production quality and sort of, just tightening up those bolts.
In the last little bit as a Boeing shareholder has been to just every time I hear news, I'm just like, no, that's not good. It's bad. Just very quickly, Disney just hit 120. I'm out at the 120 level. I was short this because it went down after honestly, it went down after the vote and it consolidated. So I'm like, I'll just go in that direction because quite frankly, I'm not sure how I want to read that, whether Peltz won or not. I can weave a narrative as to why it would have been good if he had won the proxy vote, but I'm not going to try to. It was down, so consolidation down. I shorted it. Let's go back to Brendan.
Typical monthly rate, guys, for Boeing is 38 planes. So that's ugly.
So I'm short in this name,
Well,
so I can sort of tell you what I'm thinking. Like, it doesn't seem that ugly to me. Like, it didn't even really, it just was like Brendan said, it was a bad number, so everybody reacts to that number, but then ultimately the stock is telling you a different story right now. I mean, we have the story, so it's out there. So when I look at something like this, there's gonna be no more averaging, and I have my out. We break above the 50 period, kind of like where we were before this news happened. So the market's coming back down, so maybe we'll get some flow through with the market here. But Boeing right now could be a bad trade. I don't know. We're short. We're at 187.15. I took that short when it broke 187, and then I just averaged it up into that bottom right there, and we just haven't broken below. So it looks like this story, although we were going down our list, doesn't seem to be as crazy as maybe we thought. But that was a nice wick down.
I still think it's bad.
Well, wait, yeah, what do you think?
No, I still think it's bad. And the 188, which is VWAP, is also yesterday's close. So, again, like VWAP in here where it broke down the 88 level, so I'm shorting it to here. It looks like that was what, like quarters? So I'm going to give it to the quarters. If it can go retrace the entire move and end up higher off of that news, fair enough. But then the confluence is the fact that it's also a red to green play. If it holds above that 188 level. So I'm going to give it to the quarters, get a stop order in. I was supposed to say something about DJT. I didn't trade it, but what I was going to say is if you were looking for a technical short, like that's pretty much, like at the open, you had almost a triple top yesterday off of 53. At the open, it basically wicks up to that level and then flushes. It then bounces, and then right about at 11 o'clock, as we're coming off air, it pops into the previous close and fails the previous close. So yesterday's high and yesterday's close, you could have just shorted both of those pops if you were bearish on DJT. And that's the sort of thing I think you look for. If you're bearish on a stock, wait for those things to set up at those levels, right? Like why did Tesla work in an uptrend? Because you shorted it at the key levels. So same thing with, I didn't trade DJT, but if you did, that's all you had to wait for. I feel like I need another way to refer to that stock that's not DJT, because I don't want to be saying that every time.
Why? I mean, it's like we said, these symbols like AM.
Shouldn't there be a cooler way to say it?
DJT. I mean, just in case they call it DWAC.
Oh yeah, I can call it DWAC.
Anyways, we averaged in to the very last time there at those highs for Boeing. So we are flat. We just took out, our average price is right here, 52s. So let's see what happens. We took out a piece. I took out 20% right there when it flew back. When it came back into those levels. I do have another bid here at I'm just telling you where I'm bidding, 187.27 or so into those areas, into the 20s. And then we'll see about breaking the low again. So, again, just say it's worth a shot, in my opinion. The market's not doing a whole heck of a lot right now. I think this is pretty good. We are getting a nice move down. We did talk about NVDA. Next note's going to be SOFI. But look at this move down on NVIDIA right now. It's finally coming back in a little bit. We just had to withstand a 901. I was waiting at 902. But here we go. A nice little move back into the 200. We had discussed taking another leg out right now, but let's hold on. We did say that there was a chance, especially if we couldn't hit this, the market was going to go one way or the other. And we got pretty close to going one way, and then it stopped. So then let's try the other. So let's see if we can get back into here. I don't know about VWAP, but anywhere around here, and we're 3 names short. I like. So we'll see if we can pull back in. Let's make trading great again, as we had DJT up there.
Oh, that's perfectly good plan.
That was a pretty good one.
Trading's always great, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I said that little rant earlier. All right, NVIDIA now $5 in the money, but we're holding on. Tesla now, guys. We already put that one in there. Now it's another $1, as we just talked about Tesla. So nice move back in for Tesla. We'll wait for that one. Let's go talk about SOFI, Brendo.
SOFI pretty great today as well. Just taking out 750 once again. Actually, right now back to day highs. Essentially, if you missed it this morning, very positive note from Needham analysts initiating coverage with a buy rating, $10 price target. It's done nothing but go up. We were wondering in the pre-market if you were with us. This thing's very, very liquid, lots of volume, lots of liquidity. So it's about 25 cents, I think, 25, 26 cents as far as the entire range, but very directional anyways today.
Look, man, here's the thing. We had that thing about would you put money into Robinhood or SOFI a few months ago. I don't remember the exact time of it, but you guys all know that in that time frame, SOFI went nowhere, if anything, probably slightly down, and Robinhood doubled. So we need them to do a few more of these upgrades, and based on the percentage move, we need them to do about, we went 4%. We needed like 20 of these. So you give us 20 more of these upgrades, and then we're going to get where we need to go. That said, it doesn't look like much on the daily chart, but there actually was a trade here today. I just feel like there was always going to be a few more exciting names to go to, but there was a trade today, and it was essentially There's your support at $7.25. Yesterday it was $7. Today it was $7.25. It dipped into $7.25. Broke it by, oh, actually, that's a dark pool wick. So that's actually a fraction of, it's like a half a cent underneath the 25 level, or maybe not even. And then it just rallied to 50. So yesterday it went, you can't make it up. It was a $7 to $7.20. Today it was a $7.25 to $7.50 move. Technically that's a pretty simple trade to make, so congratulations if you got it. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Boeing is right back into 187. So I look, the 188, it doesn't make any sense to me why the stock would be green after that on that news. Like, look at the daily chart on Boeing. Does that look bullish to you? If this fails to hold 187, there is a significant gap fill on the daily chart for Boeing. I hope it doesn't fill that gap, but that's not good news. It really isn't.
All right, this is, we just got a great fill on Boeing. We just got 187.20, which is right here, but it did bounce off of 187. So I just want to note that. I know we're on SOFI, but I know Neil just mentioned it as well, but it just bounced pretty good right there off 187. I was watching. I was like, if it breaks, because I'm at 80s. I'm at 186.80. And then basically right where I took this fill, I'm going to try to get the piece out there. And then after that, we're at the bottom of the, I just have a bid at 50, lower. Let's see. All right, yeah, we talked about, I'm going to take the other trade. I'm going to go look at Robinhood quickly because Neil just nailed some of those levels. So we talked about yesterday Robinhood. We were short this name at 19.10 was our average price. It wound up being a winning trade. But today, still that same kind of a top of 19.5. This is actually where we were going to get out yesterday, in and around this level. Come on, NVIDIA. If we did have this kind of a movement, we should have noted that today. We didn't go back to Robinhood. I kind of like this level here. I like the psychological level of 20. Maybe tomorrow we'll put this on our radar to short if it gets near 20. That wouldn't be something that I don't mind doing. Here's a 20-minute chart. So you could see there's the drop off on Robinhood. So we were really hoping that we could get a short in this area. It might be something to definitely look at there with Robinhood. So yeah, another one there. Look at Boeing. Randy, you have any vacations planned anytime soon, or? Today, tomorrow, but you're not going on a 737 or
no,
anything like that, or Max 8, whatever they call.
Canadian carriers don't have.
Oh, thank you.
Don't have most of those. Like a lot of times, you're on an Airbus. A lot of Air Canada's Airbus. So.
Anyways, Boeing production numbers down.
You're not trying to walk.
You're not trying to walk to the Bahamas and stuff. We need to go somewhere warm, my guy. You're going up north. Remember, Obi said this guy builds boats. What was the other introduction that we had there that time? Builds boats, builds decks, builds our wood. Oh, you mentioned maybe.
Actually, I have to have a conversation with you about it. We'll have a talk about a deck. Okay, because I have to this summer.
Yeah, that needs a little refinish.
Yeah.
No, not this. I'm talking about my house, man.
Yeah, your house. Yeah, but this
This?
needs.
When I put a coat on.
All right.
Fine. I've spilled so much crap in this, and you can't even.
Maybe
tell.
it should be a different color because of the way the light reflects on here. I don't know. I'm looking
Salmon?
at Fabian over there.
Just kidding.
And Ramin.
Well, I'm joking because Sean's wearing a sandwich.
Oh, look at Boeing. Ain't no jokes happening right about here.
Boeing's dying. Dude.
There we go. There we go. Look at that. Thank you, Randy, for that one. That's $1 and change.
I'd
so
rather walk.
I'm sure glad that we just brought this to everybody, honestly. This kind of looks kind of wild, But again, the wiser trade, and this is why we bring the stories to you, sort of, and why I threw it back to Brendan to clarify it, to get it all going, right? As I'm building this position, I'm like, this doesn't seem like good news, and then it just retraces back to VWAP, and that's where you can sort of strike. So good trade there. And again, this is a news piece. I wasn't even looking at Boeing. It's not on anybody's radar today. All of a sudden, this comes out with a volume spike. We always talk about trade catalysts. And there you go. So now all of a sudden, Boeing is like P&L 3 all of a sudden, pending if we can get this moving around. Always position pending over here anyways, if we're still in it. Tesla, we did talk about that. SoFi, we just did Robinhood. So let's go talk now about Nelson Peltz and Bob Iger.
We're discussing in the pre-market, if anyone was with us this morning, the fact that there was two major events that were happening today, with Powell coming to the microphone, then Disney's shareholder meeting and vote. We get right back to, it's not even that big of a move, really. We get right back to yesterday's, support level and low, essentially, after this thing just went straight to the upside all day yesterday. We give all of that back after, they reelected the entire board, guys.
Sorry, I'm just responding to Monty G in the in the chat just now was like, why don't you guys do a green screen desk when we're talking about the colors? And so I'm replying basically, well,
too much.
No, we've been down that road before. Anyone that if you've been following us from the very beginning, the main desk up there where Brendan is sitting, like that we used to have that covered by like a green screen.
Yeah.
And then it was literally a fake desk, and it looks a million times better now. So now we're gonna keep it nice and solid and real. Disney's trying to keep it real, I suppose. And again, we've been through this before, whether that's positive or negative. Like Boeing, when you usually have 38 in sales and you're going to have single digits, I think that's easier to read as bad. When you have a proxy battle, I mean, Nelson Peltz getting a seat or not, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know whether that's going to be good or bad. I've said that many times. However, it did nothing it was trending down most of the day, and then it broke down after the vote. So as far as I'm concerned, it was just a matter of it's going to the downside, look for a consolidation. So here's it consolidated down here. There's your wick, short to that high, and then just basically scalp it to this level because it's bouncing off 120.60. So shorting 21s to 60. It broke down. Brendan already said it got to yesterday's support, so I get out when it held that support for even a hot minute. So I think when you're trading like events or news, sometimes it's just best to set it up based on what you see instead of what you think it means. Right? Like if I'm watching a Meta Connect event or whatever, I'm using that as an example, I'm not going to try to say that when it had that big move to the downside, oh my goodness, but everything about it's good, let's just go long. Sometimes it's just easier to go with the grain.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. Oh, Boeing, so I was just tweeting out about that one. Oh yeah, so for Disney, so we got out. So we didn't get out of anything today. You guys know we talked about getting some out at 121.50, sort of ahead of this vote. It was obviously a really nice move up. I'm not sure what this changes, so I'm gonna pay attention, read some stuff tonight, read some articles, and just figure it all out because we know Nelson Peltz was pushing for change, and obviously it happened to some extent. I mean, we got a nice move up in the stock. We had Bob Iger come out and talk about turning direct-to-consumer into profitability by the end of 2024. So I think it was end of Q4 of this current year. So that's a positive there. We know the theme parks are still bumping around. And yeah, let's just see if they can work on getting that in-theater experience a little bit better with some of those hits that we're looking for back from Marvel. And then, I don't know, Star Wars. But they still have all of the intellectual property, right? So they have all the IP. They just need to get it together. I think Disney can still work, but I was been selling on the way up. You guys know that. So yeah, it sucks that it's going this way. Would have liked to go the other way. On our sticky note, we are waiting for a 124 break. So we don't have any of that right now, but we are getting a nice move down, man. We are basically back. We're at the high. So there it is. Yes, sir. Let's go. Nice move down. $1.25 now in the money here for Boeing. And again, all of a sudden, man, P&L 1 for me is obviously going to be NVIDIA, but just right now, it is now Boeing. Boeing taking over P&L spot number 2 for me. There it goes. A nice move to the downside there for Boeing. And yeah, it was really all because of that reload right there, to be honest with you. But there it goes. A nice move down. Pretty happy with that one right now. There's some news also about NYCB maybe. Is that what I just heard? Okay, now just a break into the high of the day here. NYCB. Right now dancing around a bit. So
there was a story on HIMS. Just thank you.
Yeah.
Dara put this in the chat for us when this moved, but the volume tapered off right away. DoorDash's former COO was added to the board of directors, but that was old news on HIMS. So I don't know that that's a reaction to it, but that was the story that was earlier. So HIMS did have a volume spike. It's holding the highs, so that's good. But the volume immediately tapered off. For day trade, I kind of want to see the volume continue to hold up. Matt Carnes just said another day, another dollar on CGC. Where's my weed? I mean, okay, CGC might be breaking the highs, but it's only up 12%. Now, Aurora Cannabis, on the other hand, 40 is better than 12. Up 40% today. I'm kind of speechless because there was a moment I'm like, yeah, we should try to look for a dip buy in ACB. And I remember you saw that I actually just tried to trade. I tried to trade CGC instead, and on a break of the $9 level, which I guess that had like a mixed result. Like I got some profit, then took the hit, and it wasn't even that bad. But it's the opportunity cost because in that moment at 10 o'clock, if you did, I mean, let's be honest, if you did anything to the long side at 10 o'clock, when I was getting in and out of that ACB trade, there is one red candle, and that is into 10 o'clock. If you just bought that dip literally anywhere in ACB instead of trading CGC, look at the gravy. And the reason why I think, hindsight's 2020, but the reason why I think it's not that ridiculous to have said I should have been in this one instead of the other is look how much stronger this was on the 3-minute. It was a stronger stock to begin with into that move. So that you kind of want to play the one that's giving you the better opportunity. And this was easily stronger going into it. And I just traded CGC because of that $9 yesterday. It was like it's a double top where I was looking at CGC at $9 yesterday instead of examining which one was the stronger move. So congratulations to anyone that got Aurora Cannabis. What a monster. Oh, Boeing, you want... Yeah, Boeing's about to get nasty. Where is that bottom again? It is 180... Oh, it's already through.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Never mind.
sir.
It's already through the local bottom. Bye-bye, Boeing. Ugh, this is going to get nasty.
I mean, I just was going to talk about Boeing as well, but I was just going to be like, hey, man, if we can get 86 right into here, then we're doing pretty good because the next level is 85, so we just got to wait for that. We got this, man. We got this one live. This should have been something that we said clip it to because Boeing brought the news to you basically as it was happening. I was taking the fills as the news was dropping, and now the stock is dropping, and there's another fill there at 186. So yeah, man, that's now $1.50, and like I said, man, rocketing up the board of profitability right now. Still $4. Let's go. Let's ride the bear. I don't like this one. I'm going to find the other one for you. There it is. Let's get this one. This one's like, all right, you know, more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Right there. So here comes NVIDIA back down in. We are still short at 902.30. And I mean, this one has been really an amazing trade. NVIDIA, the last 6 months, I mean, you know, just if you're ever saying this market's a little boring and I'm looking for something, I mean, honestly, the moves that are on this name, now it's boring now, there's nothing happening. You got to wait for it to do something, but really giving a good opportunity to trade now. I'm just wondering, because we still have shares, where we're going to think about getting out. The market looks like it made the move that we kind of thought. It touched the top of this range, kind of, and now it just really did break the bottom of this. So we were thinking a little bit lower. Let's give it a little bit of a chance to do that. And then if not, then what about just getting out of some NVIDIA? Potentially if we break back above $8.99, but then if we're going to do that, why not give it to 900 and then just take that $2 winner to 30 winner. I want to try to let this one breathe a little bit, so I'm going to leave NVIDIA, but that's an idea for anybody there. If it breaks back above 900, we've bounced off the 200 period now 2 or 3 times, so it would make sense that we retest back up there. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for a VWAP trade and see if we can get 896.50 or so.
So there was a great suggestion that Brad Goober, I've passed this one along. For trades like this, we need a Ric Flair woo emoji. Yeah. So I'm down with that. I mean, I don't know. He can't. Is he copyrighted that? Like, if we use that,
copyright that.
You can't, right? Like, we can show a picture of.
I think like The Rock said, like The Rock is copyright, but what does that even mean?
It doesn't matter if you copyright that.
Huh?
It's fair, yeah, fair use. But I'm gonna trail down here on BA because it is 86. That is that level. I was looking back, 85, certainly the round number. But if it's gonna bounce here, I'm gonna trail to the 86.5. You know, obviously the news isn't necessarily going to be good, but I think it could reverse at any point. Oh, there was one other thing, Mara. Forgot about Mara. Mara just broke VWAP as well. Bitcoin, here's a chart of IBIT just to give you an idea what's going on. This has been trending down since about 10:30. Lower highs, just put in a fresh low. If this holds the bottom channel, so the overnight bottoms was like 37.5 on BTC, that's like, it's holding the 65,000 level, 37.5 is what I'm watching here on IBIT. But if we actually break further down, then the short back into the 20 is going to be in play on Mara. But I am out of that one. I was shorted into a triple top, kind of like right before we came back on air, was mentioning on the midday show. So Mara is still working. Intel, by the way, that stock is still a dog, but it is holding 40.5 down here. I'd love to reload this if I can in VWAP, but you're running out of opportunities for it to be strong enough to get up there. Like if it hasn't gotten to VWAP by say 3 o'clock at power hour, then I might look to short a lower high on Intel.
I mean, Boeing is All right, this is really weak. I was going to say Boeing is still going, but that's kind of.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, that's not good there. There we go.
Well, there is the. Oh,
I said I was going to get. There it is, down. So Boeing's still going to the downside right now. I mean, here we go. You're now down to 185.50. We are now $1 and $2 in the club right now. For this trade, we're $4. We're a $4 member in NVIDIA. We're a $1 club member in Tesla. We have 3 trades on that are all absolute. I mean, they're dancing right now. We only have 1 losing trade today. It's going to be Apple. We did talk about giving that up right there as it just kept on going. We had it good early. I feel like that's what happens with Apple, is that you get it early, and then once you realize the direction of this name was up, I should have got away from it, and that was really stubborn, and I definitely know that I sort of screwed that one up. So, lesson learned on that one, Apple. Now Apple kind of barcoding right there for that. But yeah, definitely nailed this one. I think that part out right now is good. We only have about 25% left of our position on this, so we're doing pretty good. But let's wait. Again, should have got everything up there, but we didn't. So, all right, we'll wait on that one. Tesla's still bouncing around. I'm not really too happy with it. But again, the market is making a move back and Tesla's not moving. So whenever I see that kind of a relationship, what do we think? We think that, hey, maybe we're going to go and drop some cash if this market ever reverts the other way. Because if Tesla is not going up when the market's making this kind of a bounce, then maybe, potentially, it also true of the inverse though, right? Like the market went down and Tesla really didn't do anything either. So let's see if it breaks one way or the other, making me nervous because we're above the 200 and above the 50. So we'll kind of hope that maybe something's happening there. And then I did put a bid on NVIDIA now. I mean, that just bounced off 898. I think it's worth putting a bid there now. That's too many times, man, honestly, that we've bounced off of here in the last hour. That was reasonable. I'm now bidding 897, but maybe we just sacrifice the dollar. We'll put 450 in our pocket and get out at 898. The market's trying to go higher here. Shorts might be in trouble into the close, but still 237.
Oh, I'll address Nicola here. I think one of the things I was saying in the middle of actually it wasn't in the midday, this was actually toward the end of the morning show, or like 10:30, is if you can find a trend, it's easier to follow the trend. So like a weak stock stays weak and a strong stock stays strong. Like have a look at Micron, right? Like you didn't want to be shorting Micron today because that's like the strongest chip name. You wanted to be shorting Intel today, that's the weakest chip name. But Nicola down 10%, it rejected the dollar yesterday in the afternoon, then lower high today. There was a miss. Now we had a meeting at this time. It's not an excuse, it's just the reality. Like we were actually sitting away from our desk. It was the perfect re-entry off 93. And now that it's down here at 88, I'm trailing it to here, looking for 86s. So again, risking 1.5 cents on that move because I was giving it to just above 94. It looks like we're going to be getting a bottom break. Don't really have a long ideas this afternoon, but I'm open to you guys. Let us know if you see anything that. Is there a runner right now? Like I know that HIMS made a move to the upside, but like the first thing it did is just have the volume die. So I wasn't too excited about that. And I'm seeing a lot of chatter about Tilray's earnings coming up. That's next week.
When is that?
It's
yeah,
next
week, I got to put that on our board.
Yeah, next. Let me look. Yeah, April 9th. Yeah, we said this yesterday.
Right.
It was a week yesterday. Yeah, we knew this.
Yeah, we knew.
So good look. What's the Vegemite pick of the day? I mean, if we're really lazy, we could say, well, Boeing's not going green. What do you guys think the Vegemite pick of the day? Like, what's the improbable up move that if it happens, I'll eat a spoonful of Vegemite? Meta? I'm not betting against Meta. It's got No. Not if Meta breaks the high of the day. It's literally at the high of the day. Maybe BTC. What's Bitcoin? Do you have a Bitcoin chart up?
65A. We don't talk. What about something with Disney? It's moving around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Disney. How about Disney? We'll go if Disney breaks 120,
so we can all look at a reasonable level here.
Yeah, let's go here. 120. Let's say 121. Is that good? So right here, consolidate at 121. If Disney closes just breaks, closes above 121, I'll do a spoonful of Vegemite. That's fair. It's at 120 right now. It's a buck. It's a retracement play. I'm only going to do this.
I think it's fair, but I think that's at risk. I mean, I don't know.
No, but the thing is, I'm only doing this for up moves because that way, if I have to eat it, it's at least a stock that went up, and everyone can be happy when stocks go up. That's the way I'm looking at it. So if I have to do it, I'd rather a stock go up and I eat Vegemite than the other way around. Like if I'm like, oh, if Boeing closes at 180, but then I'm losing on my personal account and eating Vegemite. So I'm always it's got to be an up move. So 121 Disney.
Okay.
With
Okay.
that.
Yeah, that makes it fun.
And if you're wondering what Vegemite is,
oh no,
it's
a pick me up.
No, it's got vitamin B. It's for vitality apparently, and it tastes like crap.
Last night for dessert, I put it on. It was our anniversary here.
Yeah, what'd you guys eat?
Yeah, we went to this Italian place. It was really, really great. And then I had here for dessert here. We never ever get dessert ever really. It was affogato. So it's you got a little bit of whipped cream there with a little bit of ice cream there with a espresso there. It was really nice there, and that was fantastic. So that's how we're doing it. So that was really nice, and again, happy belated anniversary to my lovely wife who continues to always have hockey mom drama and drama everywhere, but that's why I love her and why she takes care of absolutely everything.
And there is
I like
probably a
hearing
lot
the
of
stories
drama.
and kind of backing away, but you know what I'm saying? We got lots of drama in this market. It's like, what am I going to deal with? The market or the kids? You take the kids, I'll take the market. Look at this move. It's just continuing, man, on Boeing. Like, we said next stop 185. Like, I mean, let's just take it out if it gets down there. Like, Brendan actually, again, to his credit, like we asked him what was sort of a normal delivery number because we had no idea. He gave a reference point of 38, and this is single digits. So
like
again,
that's an easy entry. That
right, like when we heard sort of that, because remember I was averaging into this, thinking like, oh man, kind of like Drake style.
Oh,
and then it was just like what? And then now here we go. So it is a nice move down, and glad that it worked in our favor because that wouldn't have made any sense to me at all. The only thing I was justifying was potentially already built into the price of Boeing was a bad expected production number, but
just can't imagine it would be that bad.
Yeah, that's out now on Reuters. Here we do have the Benzinga Pro platform. And there it is right here. Boeing 737 MAX production do you want to come over here? Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Ramin. Has fallen sharply in recent weeks. So again, that's what gave that to us. There's the single sigit, but I'm sure that means digit number of jets per month in late March, according from Reuters.
Typos happen.
The
D and the S are next to each other.
Even in Reuter land. So nice trade there. I feel like we can get something out now in and around that 185. So let's just put a bid there. We just touched the bottom of 185.30. So we will get out there. 185.30, our next tranche.
That's a good word. That was
People always ask me what are the size of the tranches.
I feel like the time you heard that word the most is when you watched what's the thing with Scion Capital? Margin Call. Was it Margin Call?
That would be that movie. I'd have to rewatch that to see if that's where. I got it some.
They said it a bunch in that.
People always tweeted at me, "What's up?"
Oh, it was Big Short. No, it was Big Short that they. Yeah, it was in Big Short. They said it a lot.
What's up with the tranches?
By the way, Dell. I moved my trail now at 50 cents down. My trail was 186 half, then 186, now 185 half, and I'm getting out at 185. But Dell's up 10% today, and from Adara, it's getting a lot. Apparently, it's a lot of chatter on Twitter or X, and then it's got some unusual options volume. But that is what you call a non-parabolic move. So Dell, maybe not today, but tomorrow, that's one heck of a double top on Dell at 131. If this gets cleared out, we were talking about blue sky setups when Micron broke out today. I mean, Micron broke out. I mean, it's been breaking out for a while. Like when it broke out 100, that was blue sky. When it broke out 115, and then it recently took out 123, and now it's got a triple top that it's breaking out again. This is what you're seeing with Dell if it takes out 131. So let's put that one on the radar. Feels a little bit much to try to jam that top today the way it's moving. I don't want to be long that thing at the top if I'm feeling even remotely bearish. But yeah, good on you if you have a little bit of Dell in your life. So I said 185 and getting out. It just printed 185.15. And the thing about this is actually a news-based setup as well. Like if you when a stock moves in a direction off of any news, where is the consolidation? and you had 188 was the breakdown and 188.25 was resistance. It comes back in and it consolidates right there. So there's your up candle, there's your bounce, and then it gives you a short off of this level, the 188, with a stop at 88.25. It's more extreme than Disney, but it's the same basic principle. It goes down, it shows bounce, there's your top, there's your short, there's your out, and then you can sort of work off that. That's a response to news when it does happen. I kind of wish the stock would go up, but it's not. It's going to the downside. I'm out of Boeing. Only position left in is Intel because it looks like Nikola just came back above 89. So I said I was going to trail the Nikola. If it broke back above 89, we're just going to get out. So bringing the register on that one. There have been lots of shorts that have paid off today. And it just feels, even in a strong market, which it is today, there were plenty of opportunities to get short and win.
Plenty of opportunities. How about
Another one.
You know, I mean, right now, NVIDIA is $5. What's up, DJ Khaled right there? $5 now in the money and still undefeated champion of the world, NVIDIA. Still holding up actually pretty good. It's still positive on the day, still holding out. We just bounced off 490. Well, we're trying to bounce off 497. I'm here at 496.55, but the more and more I look at this, we don't need to be at that level. We could just put a bid right here and get a piece out. And that's exactly what we just did right there. So that's a $5 winner on NVIDIA. We'll take it out. And we just talked about waiting for that. We're still in a piece. So maybe we'll get a little bit lower, but we will take that out at 597. 897 off of a 902 short. So there it is right there. So nice trade, right back in. We were watching it. We talked about potentially breaking that 200 period. We waited for that. It did happen. So instead of me waiting for the exact penny down there, honestly, 896.50. Let's put $5. I'll tell you. I mean, we just put it in our pocket. $5.17. So right there to match our 250. So that's $7. I mean, look at this Boeing trade right there. And we still got Tesla to have, a talking to here and see what's going on with that name. So we'll see if this one can get to the downside as well. We still like our little bit of Tesla here, but that's something that we're going to wait for right now is going to be Tesla. So nice move in for this name, hoping that it can continue even a bit more. If we break above this 169, then we are out of Tesla. And I'm not going to average back into it. It's a very, very strong name. I get the same kind of feels on this one that we did on Apple. And that was just like, we weren't right really by shorting this. We were able to get out every single time, which has been fine. But this one stopped us out right there at 168.50 before getting back. But I could see us getting stopped out there and then just ending it with that. And then, if 170 comes in, we'll deal with that then. But for right now, man, what a great close here. And this kind of I don't know if this was a part of the discussion today, which with Adara and Obi regarding that at any time of day, but especially near the end of the day when people we're not really at the end of the day right now, but just try to sort out breaking news stories. This story is going to become a major story at some point, I would think, with Boeing, right? I mean, that's a pretty bad situation
really bad.
there. And as Reuters reports it, then the New York Times picks it up, and then, everything sort of starts to pick it up. Potentially articles written, downgrades tomorrow, things like that. So these are the stories that you want to hold on to potentially, and we both held on, right? Potentially bigger moves back to the downside, once mass sort of media gets a hold of it. I mean, not that we're not mass media. We're
the only live trading.
We're the only live trading show. So
can I just?
People are in the right spot. As NVIDIA is now $7, still going lower here.
So I know you can't trade this right now live because Airbus is a European company. However, it is available on the OTC. There was a small move to the upside, but I'm only bringing this up because anybody that's ever looked at the Boeing daily chart, this is Airbus on the OTC. And I could look at the primary in Europe, and that's fine. But for anyone looking at the OTC, every bit of pain that Boeing has been feeling has been the other direction for Airbus. So there is another side to this coin, which has been positive if you're going long. And that's the thing about trading is for every down move, there's usually something, whether there's an inverse you can play or whether there's some kind of a related stock that's going to go up when something goes down. And Airbus has been the yin to that yang. Now I'm not gonna trade on OTC because it doesn't really do a heck of a lot of volume. But at the end of the day, it's not all bad if you're looking for opportunities in the other direction, even on a bad piece of news. I'm kind of hoping, you're still in the short, so let's hope it goes down and then bounces tomorrow. How about that? Because the thing about this is that there's really good support at 175 on Boeing, but I'd rather it doesn't retest it. I'd rather it holds a higher low here. It's a much stronger move to hold a higher low off news than that, because it's an ugly flat bottom break. Then you got this. If it doesn't hold 175, I don't even want to think about what it could do. What else we got going on here? AMD is moving. Pepsi's moving. I wanted to just quickly take a look back over at Dell, just because that was looking so strong.
I just got one. Water, though.
Yeah, I know Dell. I was looking for a pullback in Dell that might have had enough juice for a long, but it's barely moving. I was kind of hoping there'd be something to it. Yeah, nothing really doing on Dell. We'll look for something else.
Shit. All right. Just watching out. I was just saying, like, probably not under my breath there, but just looking. Boeing is like going lower still. So we still have a piece on, but it's trying to break lower. And if we break 185, I just want to let everybody know, like, I'm going to hold on to this. But 185, we've already sort of looked at this. This is a little bit lower than I thought maybe we could go. 185 has sort of been a thing. So just watch out. 185 goes back to, what is that, the 13th of March. And then it goes right back into there, into, when is that? Just a couple weeks ago, 2021 there for March, April. Right, March. What happened to this year? Like,
time flies when you're
old. It's like,
old.
what's April already? Baseball's back and everything like that? All right, guess who's back? Brendan's back with our guest of the day.
All right, we're talking uranium this afternoon. Tisdale Clean Energy Corporation, they hold 100% interest and are focused on their Keefe Lake uranium project in Saskatchewan. We're happy to have Alex Klenman, CEO and Director of Tisdale Clean Energy Corporation, on the show this afternoon to give us a little insight, not only into the industry, but the company itself. Great to see you, Alex. Welcome.
I can't hear you.
He can.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Stand by. How about now? Good?
There we go.
Perfect. Okay. I was just mentioning the company holding 100% interest in the Keefe Lake uranium project. Typically, we see, the exploration side of this business and talk about the exploration side of this business. Give us your insight here as to why focus on a sole project versus, many different, eggs in a basket, if you will.
I'd love to, but first of all, your intel is out of date. No longer have the Keefe project. We're earning into a 7 million pound uranium deposit. We have an earn-in with Sky Harbor Resources. So that's old information. We are just drilled some holes, our first holes at the project. But really why this is, well, we have the one project is, look, there's a lot of interest in the sector, obviously, for good reason. The supply deficit situation is well known and it's real. Spot prices have been at or near 10-year highs, 12-year highs. And there are 100 more uranium companies today than there was 6, 7, 8 months ago. So what you look at is, where is everyone? Well, guess what? We have a deposit. We're earning into 7 million pounds that expanded both in size and grade. For our market cap, that's a heck of a proposition. I urge people to check our website out at TisdaleCleanEnergy.com. Check our deck, check our latest news releases. You can look into the South Falcon East project, which contains the Fraser Lakes deposit, and learn more about what we're doing.
Yeah, let's touch on the market cap, as you mentioned, and the capital structure of the company a little bit here. This industry has been in focus since mid to early last year, with it seemed almost like weekly, monthly headlines coming out. Touch on where Tisdale Clean Energy stands at this point, and what investors can expect going into the remainder of 2024.
Yeah, well, you look at where value can rise, where it can be created, and at a 5 million market cap Canadian, with the less risky path, shall we say, than pure greenfield exploration. We have a deposit. We're getting 50 cents, a little more than 50 cents a pound credit for those 7 million pounds. But as we develop the project and earn into it, as we increase the size of it, and as spot moves up, as the sector gets hotter over the next 6 to 12 to 18 months, that value is going to be realized. We could be seeing $2, $3, $4 a pound credit or more. And that's, a lot different than many of our peers in the exploration space who are searching, hunting for what we actually have.
And what do we have to look forward to here as far as not only the industry is concerned, but demand is concerned here, not only this year, but maybe give us a 2-3 year look out here for the industry in general?
Well, let's boil it down to two really key announcements that came out earlier this year. First, Kazatomprom, the world's largest producer, came out and basically said they're not going to be able to meet their production estimates in 24 and likely 25. Cameco, Canada's largest and second in gold, also came out and said they didn't meet their production estimates in 2023, despite revenue being up and earnings being up. So here are the two largest producers of uranium in the world, both saying in 2023 and 2024 that they're unable to meet demand. And these are massive catalysts that really just speak to the supply issue that we have in front of us. So that's the main thing. Look at the big picture. If the two world's largest producers of uranium are having production issues, that's not going to help the record demand right now for uranium. The pipeline, the builds in the pipeline, the existing nuclear reactors that need fuel. This is a generational opportunity. There's a lot of hyperbole in the sector, but it's very real.
One of the things investors typically look for when considering the stability of a company is insider ownership and insider involvement, I guess, is the best way to put it here. Talk a little bit about the importance when it comes to that aspect.
Yeah, well, there's an extra level of confidence that comes along with knowing that management has skin in the game. I myself have 3.5% of the company. I've got over 1 million shares. We have 31 million shares out. I will continue to increase my position, and I do it in the open market. So I'm right there along with buyers who are supporting the stock and looking to buy it. But we're at our market cap. It's a deal, and that's why I'm buying it. I put significant money in the deal, and I will continue to do so because I believe very strongly not only what we're doing, but what the setup we have in uranium is very rare. So I'm really looking forward to the next 12, 18 months, maybe 36 months. Got a lot of runway here. We're in the first inning.
TCEC is the ticker if anybody wants to have a look at it. We appreciate your time. Alex Clement, CEO and Director of Tisdale Clean Energy Corporation. Have a great afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
There, Alex, and over there in the Canadian markets, tcec.cn. Over here, if you're taking a look at it, actually, we like support and resistance, holding support and breaking the 50-period moving average today on the daily, oddly enough. I always take note when that moving average gets broken. But thanks a lot, Brennan. I think, look, as that was going on,
Yep.
it just, you're still in it. It's just getting uglier for Boeing. It really is.
Ugly for the whole market, man.
Oh, well, the market's heading down, but specifically, obviously, Boeing dropped into 184.2 to the downside. So it is just, the bleed is, I was about to say the bleed is bleeding, but that's kind of a weird thing to say. But the bleed is continuing here. It's just not good at all, looking pretty nasty. And the NASDAQ just took out support. So usually, I'm accustomed to at 3 o'clock, we have typically been seeing consolidation moves higher in the market at 3 to fade into. Today, at 3 o'clock, we're possibly breaking this consolidation to the downside. So it's starting to get a little bit nasty. So unless you're in a cannabis name, which oddly enough, I kind of like a dip buy in some of those. If you're in a cannabis name, great, because those are still trending to the upside. Everything is looking like your arrows to the downside. Looking pretty nasty.
Yeah, just what Neil said, man. We are now we're $7 in the money on Boeing, almost 8. We were just 8 when we hit 8.95, 8.94.50. $8 in the money, you know. So again, just a pretty violent move here happening, but not really, you know. Like the market could still break a lot lower. We had talked about this when we zoomed in before about what we wanted to do with the market. And we're just at 18.4 right now. This is going to be a key level for me. We've talked about 18.4 a couple times. And as long as it stays in and around that area, we're going to see if we can pressure down from here. So when we were up here, we were talking about the short. We've only been short. I've had nothing but shorts today and yesterday and the day before. So we're just doing that, and it's really, really paying off. It's been a couple of banger days right here so far this month, and it's starting to elevate, to be quite frank with you. So there we go. Nice move back in. Now back to $8 right there. This Boeing trade came absolutely out of nowhere. This is where hopefully I'm showing my true colors and being able to trade everything. You know, news-based names that we've traded for many, many weeks and months and years. NVDA, Tesla, one that we've been really trying to favor one way or the other. Trading Apple earlier today and actually trading AMD and being positive on it despite being red. And this one we were smart on. You know, I wish we had a little bit more of that ability on Apple because we kept going with Apple. We got out of AMD, thus preserving a green top there for Apple, for AMD. And then here's the example on Apple, you know what I mean? Like if we just get out once it breaks this area there and we don't keep shorting all the way up there, then we're fine. But we broke pretty much our own rules there. But hey, rules are made to be broken, just not too often, hopefully. And then that's pretty much it for me for trading today. AMD, Apple, yeah. So just a couple names. We will be red on Apple as discussed. So we'll wait for that. I'm still hoping Tesla can come back in. I would like to short this name again, but it's just really strong. My bias is obviously the short side, which has been, like I just said there, for probably this week and probably last. But that's where, you know, I feel like having a good bias is something that you want to have.
But one thing I want to make a point of, before I do, CGC is breaking 10, but the high was 10.22. So it's like, yes, it's taking out the top, but I would suggest to say that that's a pretty significant level because this was a $3 stock a few weeks ago. So watch out for the overhead resistance at 10.25. I think it needs to either bust through that or give some kind of a pullback before I get into it. But you have to trade your own style. Like you usually not hear me say things like, oh, I have 7 winners, 2 losers, something like that. Because for me, I trade 10 stocks today and I'm 5 wins, 5 losses. But it's just my style of trading is generally speaking to have tight stops and get away from something when it doesn't work, and then to take profits like within a range, right? So like Boeing, like I'm going to get out there when it breaks down, I'm just going to hold it to the next level. And then it's a similar, like with NVIDIA, hopefully this chart works. I was having issues with my NVIDIA chart earlier. Like NVIDIA, I traded one trade 900 to 895 this morning and didn't touch anything else after that. So you got to trade your own style. Make sure the risk reward suits your style. And one of the things that I don't like, I like a long in CGC, but the reason I'm not long, and I'm not really seeing a setup that I liked. I wanted to pull back so that I could play it off of like the quarters or the 50s, and that just hasn't happened. So I'm looking for a dip where I can set up a long off of a level where I know if it's 970, then I'm getting it somewhere in here, and I can give it to like 965 or something like that. So CGC is continuing to run. If you're not in a weed name, you're either short or you're in a weed name right now to make money in the market. Although I suppose Dell's been going to the upside. Oh yeah, Meta. No, Meta's strong. Meta's actually holding the highs right now on Meta. If this market rolls over and takes out support, even Meta's probably a short off this top if we continue to break support to the downside on the Qs.
Yeah, I like. I like the short. Here we go. So, I don't know if this is probably not new. It's not really moving anything here.
Well, there's a Meta news.
Is there Meta news? I was just gonna look here. Kathy Wood says Tesla is the biggest AI project in the world, and here's a little article on that one. Go find that from Ben Zinga. It's probably somewhere else, but there it is right there. So yeah, he's going to keep talking that up, and that's fine.
I think the argument there would be that if you look at automated driving as a project,
that is what she's been talking.
Yeah, it's like it connects basically eventually all cars or most of them connect to each other, and like AI does all traffic. Like I can see that. And then Optimus, I suppose you get a robot that does everything for you.
So it's the second largest holding behind Coinbase, it says, in their portfolio.
What's 3?
For ARK. ARKK.
Isn't it still Zoom? It's 3rd.
ARK. Well, I could probably find out. Let me just click on this and see if this brings me over to a place that has the holdings on here. I don't see.
I'm going to go to Kathy's ARC.
Peers, insiders, government, key data, short interest.
It's Roku.
Is it Roku? Okay. Neil,
This says-
you can pull it down.
Hold on a second. This says, I guess this is the flagship. If you come to my chart for a second, we got Coinbase, Tesla, Roku, Block. But then that's only, the thing about that is, I think that's just ARC K. But if you could do the combined, it's, oh no, it's Square. So it's Coinbase.
Yeah,
If you
there's
do
lots
the-
of different-
If you do the combined, so total over all of the ARC ETFs, then it's Coinbase, Tesla, Square, and Roku. I wonder why, like, shouldn't this say Block? Like, come on. They don't even update it.
Oh, they didn't.
They could have put the company's
But
name.
This is not. This is somebody's website. This is not.
Kathy's ARC. This is a cool website.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is, you know, you can say whatever you want. She's transparent. I can respect that. Obviously, here at Trader TV Live, you know, we're going to respect the transparency. You get to know when she's buying and where, and I think that's definitely cool. Robinhood number 7, that's actually been working out pretty great, I would assume. Although 22 is the average price there. Before I said that was working out great, I should have looked at her average price. That's my bad.
Yeah, things
I know
things are working out great. I mean, here's ARK.
Yeah, that's actually well out of the money.
Yeah, it's just near the bottom, so it's kind of like. Okay, we could talk about Boeing in a minute. It's still $3 in the money. It's still a beast of a trade, of course, but we only have like basically less than 10% left of that trade because 185 was our target. Well, was the target once it got down there. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that in the first place. This is ARK, so yeah. I mean, it's been brutally underperforming. The NASDAQ is up, or the S&P is up 150%, I think, from COVID lows. So I have to go back to find out where this one was. But even from October, it was $34 in October, so it's $48 right now. So again, that's, I guess, 50% higher. 38, add 11 to it. Yeah, so no, just a third higher. And then if you
Where's
look,
the Qs from October?
that's what I was going to say. What is it? Yeah, what is the Qs?
Give me a
So
sec.
that's about 30%.
The October low is like 344, so
We've had a lot of outperformers in her space as well. So
yeah, it's not that bad from the October lows.
I'm actually surprised it's holding up as well because of Tesla.
I'm
Like
surprised.
Tesla's her worst holding, her largest holding, but yet the worst performer. in
Well,
the
you know
S&P
why?
500.
Like Coinbase had that huge move. Like Coinbase from last October is up like 3x, and that's the reason. It's like Coinbase.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, you got to have some performers that are over and underperforming. So those are that case right there. Okay, a name that I really like to buy on dips, which is dipping in. Wow, pretty nicely right now, almost as if there was news on Uber. But now that I look at the way the market is falling, again, I can reference my own Benzinga report right here if I wanted to. But Uber is kind of like, okay, had a real nice day, a real nice go of it, and then for some reason, kind of out of nowhere, started to head back down, and now it's going to look to turn red. So Uber pretty good to the downside. I was kind of feeling some ways about missing it at 75, but I just don't know if I'm ready to buy all these names yet at these levels. So I'm feeling okay about it, but again, just wondering about where we are in the market cycle and if the NASDAQ, if I actually want to add to names I already own, or maybe just buy the market when we continue to dip down. But the ES today is not even down. So there's that kind of a news. I did hear that there was Ozempic, and congratulations, I guess, to Costco and to Eli Lilly, but there was news today that Ozempic's being sold at Costco, so that'll probably give people a little bit of a relief on some of the cost of that. I don't know if it's covered by healthcare or some of the insurance plans or whatever that are out there for healthcare, but anyways, Costco down, and we talked about Costco breaking through. Here's the chart on Costco, breaking through the 50 period and coming back in. So again, like this would be a name, if I could wrap my head around like wanting to buy some of these dips, really like Costco down here, and we've already talked about that. And then Eli Lilly, the main, benefactor of all of this discovery, is up 2%. So Eli Lilly basically at all-time highs again. I mean, breaker 10, $15, one way or the other for Eli Lilly every day, it seems. But
I need a do-over for this.
the Nova Nordisk. My guy Fabian over there whispered in my ear today, watch out for Nova Nordisk. He's right, it was a nice move to the upside here today, fading back a little bit, but Eli Lilly kind of still near those tops. Nova Nordisk has pulled around a little bit. Oh, the one name that I do not want to forget about, and I want people to keep on reminding me, I have to keep having a look at Take-Two, because I really like Grand Theft Auto coming through pretty soon. And yeah, I know this is a big secret, but we'll wait to see breaking through the 50
Maybe
period, I
follow
think,
it.
is maybe when we start to buy that. So 150, 153, 154, when Grand Theft Auto hits the market, everyone will go crazy. So, maybe a little too early.
It's at major support now, though. Like
Yeah, but 140, now we got to get down into there.
like if on a weekly chart, like a weekly chart would say, like here on this, because like the 50 period on the weekly it's basically holding and riding it, and now the 200 period's right there at like 150. It's a good looking, like there's your trend reversal, there's it starting to hold, there's it again holding the higher low. Like that's a really good. This is an example of like why you wait for trends to actually bounce and reverse the trend as opposed to trying to catch bottoms on a stock, because you could have been trying this in 100, but it was just an easier trade once it got to like 124. But I want to get like Disney, by the way, like Disney's not getting to 121, Disney's at 119. So I got out of Disney at 120, it's at 119, Boeing at 185.20, and that went to 184. It's just like everything you think is going to stall and bounce is just going further. So it's getting nasty, down 3% here for Disney after, I guess, Peltz lost the proxy vote, or I guess you can say the company won. I can report that any way you want. You can spin it in either direction, positive or negative. CGC just pulled back into 980. This is like the first dip that it's done. So once it gives some kind of a consolidation, I'll look for an opportunity at a bounce play. I want to be getting something off 970. For now, it's just a wick into the downside on CGC. DJK saying Boeing will lose 180 tomorrow. We'll see. The best thing about the market, we'll get to be here tomorrow and trade it if it's at 180. And if it gets to 180, there's no way there isn't a short setup. If it's hanging around 185 right now, that's plenty of room to get to 180. I would love to see that happen for a trading aspect, maybe not so much for the old long term.
Yeah, part of that is why I'm still in this. We did talk about Boeing and why we wanted to stay in it. So we're still in this. It just bounced off 184 and change. Like I said, there's going to be downgrades. There's going to be some more things coming. So we'll just hold this into the close, hopefully. My out on this, I told you, was 188. So this is fine. It was 188.25. It was. Actually, I'm just going to cancel that now anyways. All right, Boeing. Cancel. Yeah, so right there. But anyways, nice move down in for BA. Took a minute, but starting to get going again. We're still waiting for NVIDIA to really break, but it's already broken. This is now $8. We just talked about that one. Let's see if we get 892, 890, and then hopefully down into here, 886, 888 would be a nice little number as well. That's the number that I was kind of looking for to begin with, 888. Okay, here we go. Honestly, we've really been on one with a lot of these things, man. Boeing, now NVIDIA is now almost $10 in the money and still going lower. And this is what we're here to do, right? Good trade. Tesla's really been holding up. I wish we had sort of flipped over and gone short in other things. We could check out on Amazon. I was actually debating getting out of some of my Amazon in the long-term portfolio. It's really, really outperforming the market right now, making these highs, continuously doing that. We've broken.
Apple's moving on volume right now.
Apple's moving. Okay, so Amazon really great. This is the only name I'm red on today is going to be Apple. So maybe we'll have to look at that. 170.50, nice top.
That was a weird spike there, right to the high of the day and then right back. If I don't hear any news, I'm shorting the top. If it does it again.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bump up there, considering that this didn't really do much.
Nothing happened.
Right, the market went the other way. I wonder if someone maybe just got stopped out there, maybe through 170 now. Well, here comes right back in. So you did go short. No, you're waiting. Yeah, maybe that's something there. Adara, see, where is Adara? Oh, there she is. Yeah. Oh, it's iRobot.
You hear something?
You're saying iRobot is going to the downside. Oh, no, right back up. No, I'm only hearing iRobot. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Apple. No,
iRobot just went down to 770 and all the way back up to 870. Remember, iRobot was a name that was maybe potentially being talked about as a buyout from Amazon. I'm wondering if maybe Apple was talking about taking down iRobot.
Now Apple wants to tank. Give me a break.
I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. That would make a little bit of sense there, actually. Maybe Apple's in talks to do something with iRobot. Now
Apple's tanking.
Well, that's maybe why. Because
no
if you're
one
going to buy
wants
a company out, it costs you something.
Yep.
And if the market doesn't like it. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see anything here. I'm not hearing anything. I mean, I have the Benzinga platform here, so if anything does pop in.
Here we go. Yeah, explores home robots as next big thing after car fails. So that's much worse for iRobot than it is anything for Apple, but that's the reason. Apple explores home robots as next big thing.
Guys, $11. Like, I don't know if this has anything to do with NVIDIA or not, but bang, 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 bang. Wow. Here we go again, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is quite the move down here in the market. We are now $1 in the money for Tesla. We are now, this is why we're here, man. And we're not going to hit this 11 times because that would be wrong. It's now 12. $12 in the money on NVIDIA right now, man. We screaming to the downside here in the market. And this is exactly what we thought could happen here this afternoon. This is dramatic for NVIDIA. Like, what up with that? We were bidding, well, we weren't bidding anything. We were going to wait for 888. That went down to 888.90 right there. Huge move to the downside, man. Yes, sirree. That's a good one there for anybody that short. And those of you that long, hopefully you had stops because that's why you have stops. So you get stopped out if anything like that does happen. Let's put a bid at 889 right now. Or should we even do that? Or should we just let this thing completely fall all over itself? Let's take a piece out. Let's just get rid of it, honestly. That was a huge move down for NVIDIA. And on a lot of volume there. I don't know what that has to do with iRobot or anything, but that was a
no. I don't think it had anything to do with it.
That's why it's strange. Like, that was basically a $3 flush.
iRobot's now up,
lean.
by the way.
Yeah, I think, you know what, like, more talk about that, man, more.
Justifying the space, or maybe now you think Apple would be the ones to buy them.
Well, that's what I was saying. I thought
that's the only logic there. But I'm trailing. Obviously, Intel broke the low when that same thing happened. It's the only position I'm still in. I was on the offer of Apple if it did another spike, because I thought it was going to give me a short off the top, and then Apple absolutely tanked. So if this, let me just cancel that. I'm not going to get filled at 4070 on Intel. Obviously, it's down at 4040. We reloaded off the 90s, giving it to 41 even. I'm going to give it to 50. If it retakes the bottom, I'm going to jump out of that trade. But iRobot, IRBT on that Apple news. Here's it grinding higher. So if the logic there is that, hey, who cares about the logic? Just respect the fact that it's going up. I said that with Disney. It's traded in the direction that it wants to go. So 840 is where it broke out from. Long back into that level off consolidation. Simple setup.
You never know. You honestly, guys, look at this Tesla trade. It really was another one right there. Take a drink of water, everybody, because, like, honestly. Oh, all right. Where's your water? Cheers.
It's almost done.
Yeah, mine too. Nothing wrong with that. Wow. Yeah. So about all of that. Good. Like, Tesla, we just got 167.60. So that's $1 plus right there. Came right into our area. That's what we took. NVIDIA, unfortunately, we did not, this on me again, as we always say. We didn't have a bid down there at 888. We did talk about that as a possible level. It didn't really get there. It got to 889. So I'm going to put a bid there. If we liked it before, maybe we should like it again right now. That is going to be NVIDIA. We'll take that out if it comes back in. I mean, either way, we don't have a huge piece. I think we probably have about 20% left of our total position up there, maybe a little bit less. So we would love to get that fill if that is indeed possible. And then honestly, man, 330 in the money for Boeing. I just want to thank everybody for coming through. IRBT, all right. All right, so $9. Nice move to the upside. Boom. I like that spot right there for iRobot. That might be a good long for a while right now as they get, like we just mentioned, some of that pass-through love from Apple. Because if Apple's going to develop something like that, remember, it could always be this is just like where there's smoke, there's fire type of thing. We don't exactly know, but this is the story as brought, right here by all of us here at Trader TV Live. Engineers at Apple have been exploring a mobile robot that can follow users around their homes. So attention, Brendan and Ayal, we may be getting an Apple sort of butler type person or robot, I guess, not a person, following you around your house. And whether or not they're vacuuming.
Brendan already said he wanted one.
Right, like an iRobot would be doing. That's why I'm saying, attention, Brendan, get your credit card out because Apple is getting ready to be serious entry into the space. But man, I'm really just honestly through the moon on this NVIDIA trade. We talk about trying to put up some numbers, and this NVIDIA trade allowed me to get back into that level there today. So that was a really good one to end the day, honestly. It's 320 right now. We're just easing out of all of these positions, man. Tesla $1.10 for NVIDIA, almost 4 for Boeing. Well, I don't know what else. Shout out to Kevin Mendoza or anybody else who wants those sort of trades in there. What up to Max? What up to everybody that's around, man? Shout out to Obi, who did a fantastic job on the midday once again with Adara. That continues to be a banger there in replace of the Egyptian nightmare Sharif. And then we'll just wait for some picks from that guy, as I hope he's being able to wrestle those gorillas.
He's not wrestling
those gorillas that he wants to do. I don't think it's a good idea, but he can
No,
wrestle gorillas. You know what?
But he's actually. I've actually had this conversation with Sharif. He's really into he likes that survival stuff, and
oh yeah, he's mentioned that.
Like he's very big into that. That's your thing. That do you? I've just emphatically said that I like a certain type of vacation I like, and being on safari is probably not one of them. The only way I do it.
Well, the thing is, you have a family. Like he would be sitting there on a beach just by himself.
If Aaron said, "Daddy, I would love to go on a safari," I promise you this much. All this crap that I'm saying goes out the window, and you're going to see me with some lions and tigers and bears. But that's the only way it would happen for me. CGC just broke the high again. I'm trying to get Apple short. At this point, it's been fortunate to have been a perfect afternoon, but I'm not sitting in anything. And when it's 320, you're either in it or waiting for something really good. We talk about time of day trading. This is the time of day you got to be a little bit specific about the entries. So when I said I wanted to fade Apple, and I was sitting off the offer, I'm like, I wanted this high. And chart, here we go. I wanted it wicked the top. I'm like, oh, it's going crazy. I might get filled up here again. And then it just never did. So we went back to that other plan, which is, okay, if it's moving down, consolidation down, short that. So obviously we're not going to get 170.5. Let's be real about that for a second. But if it can hold underneath VWAP, you also have this previous low at 169.80. So I want to give those two levels some respect. If it does the lower level, like the previous support ends up being the resistance, we'll work it down to 169.10. I don't know why I have a 169.30 marked off. On the 15-minute, it is a very distinct resistance to support at 169 to 169.30. So I think if you get down in that range, we got to be taking some profit out. iRobot's flying, though you got to wonder, this is all on speculation, right? This is nothing specific has been said about iRobot. It was Apple news that is giving iRobot a boost. So I'd have some reservations about punching this top, simply because Apple could say we're not interested in making any acquisitions. If they make that comment, iRobot could tank $1. If they say anything, let's go to the desk and handle some business.
This part of the show brought to you by IG. Got opinions on central bankers, geopolitics, and economic data? Apply your macro views with a Forex account at IG. Currencies like Euro and USD can require as little as 2% margin rates and offer $0 commission trading. Using a Forex account at IG. For a limited time, traders can open, fund, and trade with IG for up to $10,000 in funding bonuses. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, yeah, hit that QR code there and go find out what IG is all about for sure. Thank you, Ms. Adara, for that one. I mean, Apple went down and touched 169 flat there. That probably was a buy. I mean, not flat, but 20s there, right into those levels that were the pre-market highs that we were initially fighting against. So that's, again, wow. We're starting just to keep leveling up here, man. But that 180, that 169, that was the pre-market high that we were initially going short against it before it broke, right? And then we got stubborn. We talked about that. So that could have been a long down there. So I think we should probably look at that if it comes back. It's now 30 cents away from that level. Excuse me, chug that water. And then we do have, what time is it? 3:23. Okay. I was just thinking about getting out somewhere here if we break above 894. But you know what? We don't have a huge piece left, and we're trying to ride. So let's just see. We are going to wait for 898. If we get that, 899. So 889. If we get that one, then that'd be pretty good, man. And again, for a trade that had $3 worth of risk, we're now 3-1 again on that. So that's going to be a good one. And we've already taken pieces out. We were going to average in. I kind of wish that we had sort of got another fill up here just to put some more on the board. But here it comes. I mean, this market could really go you know what? Forget it, man. Honestly, let's just cancel this and go. So we'll see how low we can get. I mean, why we could go back into the day's low again. So we're going to have a couple high ticks and maybe a low tick. Let's just go to 885 and call this a day on NVIDIA. If it hits 885, then you've just seen something. And I'll be pretty proud to bring that to you. So let's wait to see what happens there. I don't know if it's going to happen. But Boeing, like I said, we just said, wow, did we miss the bottom on Boeing? No, we did not. 350 now in the money on Boeing. This is a trading show. Like this is a monster move down. So I still think that this could be a good cover. Like I said, if you're trading options or something like that, we are coming into the last half hour. And if you want to trade out of it, then fine. But Boeing right now, an absolute beast. And like I said, if you're here for trades, what else? $12, $4, $1.50, and looking for more. We talked about DraftKings earlier as well. That didn't get up to 46 bucks. But it's getting close, no? So we'll see about this tomorrow. 45.20. I really like the 46 short right there for DKNG. We'll see if that can come through at print. But yeah, man, we're just enjoying what this ride is today. And it's a nice downside move after, again, we had talked about being red on the day for our opinion. And that's exactly what's brought this green net for the day, being biased to one side, sticking with it 3 days in a row, no longs.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this right now. I have an aversion. I'm never saying I'm only going short or only going long because there's always a strong stock somewhere. Like the weed names were up today. Like you can't, like the tech names are weak and they've been good shorts and Tesla's been a good short. But there's always something. If you're a bearish trader or a bullish trader, there's always something for you out there in the market. And I believe you can usually find it. Speaking of the news-based trade, however, I just got Apple. Like I showed you guys those little support lines I had in there, the 30. And then the 169.10. I know Sean said 169, but when I pull back to 15-minute chart, it's not that big of a difference. But I have it in the 10 range. You could call it like 169.15 even. It doesn't really matter. But if it gets down to that, I'm getting out. So out one here, out one there, and then just play it in pocket. And playing things in pocket and range has been really consistent today. Like just take the out, look for the next level, find the next level, take the short, and be willing to get out and then just sort of make those trades. Like that's the style of trade I want to be able to do here. Just one more thing for you. I didn't get CGC, but I know some people are still obviously long. It had that one dip and I was looking for a consolidation. That was right quick, right back to $10. Went to $9.80, it was immediately back at 10. It's now up 21%. So the new trade was just getting Apple on that news. And it was just like Disney. For myself, I'm going to show you three things this afternoon. One, Disney on news, short consolidation. It ends up going further to the downside. You can do whatever you want with that trade. Boeing, short, one time in here with about 40 cents worth of risk. And then, look, it'll go all the way down to 185 when I got out. But I'm taking it out in thirds. So the average out is going to be about $1.20, $1.30 when you work it all out. So it's about a 3-to-1 style trade. So look for an entry. Once you find an entry on a trade, risk to reward, then you go for it. And for me, like I didn't see anything until it started popping back up. And after news hits, it's like, where does it find resistance on bad news? Boeing found it there at 188, so we shorted that. Apple is a very similar thing. Apple came to the downside, made the move. Okay, where is it finding resistance when it settles down? Off this previous low. So enter the short into that low. If it breaks it, whatever. Then you're kind of just setting up that trade. I had a coach in baseball that just said sometimes see ball, hit ball. But if you don't see it, like if you're sitting there and you can't even see the pitch, then you don't have to swing at it just hoping for a home run. So I hope that you can find those opportunities out there. I'm seeing guys asking about Tesla, please. What's Tesla doing? I had some trade. Look, obviously, I'm up on Tesla, but I stopped trading Tesla when it started upward trending. Like I wanted Tesla shorts into here, so I did that. It worked. Small win there, then out. Basically a flat trade, but it was essentially a stock that was trending up. Higher lows from yesterday and then higher lows pretty much throughout. It looks like it could be a bit of a breakdown play off the 169 this afternoon. Maybe you get a flat bottom break at 67 in the VWAP, but Tesla up 0.5% and showing you a pretty decent trend to the upside. So if it can close above VWAP, this really isn't that bad overall for Tesla. I'm not going to go long it. To me, there's a difference between I will stop shorting a stock and I'm now flipping into a long. And I've said this about Tesla and just my personal opinion. On the daily chart, trend is to the downside. So when that's the case, there's your lower highs, there's your lower lows, still beneath the 50 period. Actually holding underneath the 50 period on the daily is Tesla. So I'm looking for shorts, but it doesn't mean I'm only going to be short all day long, because the way I see it, if it shows you an intraday trend to the upside, eventually it could just continue to go higher. It ends up holding underneath 169 today. So there's always that difference. And it's an important difference between, you know what, I'm bearish on this stock, but today I just need to step away from it or stop shorting it or get out of it or something along those lines. But it doesn't mean I like the long. Just because you don't want to short a stock doesn't mean you want to go long the stock. That's the thing about trading. You don't actually have to make a trade or have a position at any given moment on a stock. If you do that, then you're just constantly back and forth. Ooh, I want to be long this or short this or whatever. Make sure it sets up. That's why I was specific this afternoon. It's been Disney, it's been Apple, it's been Boeing. All three of them have worked out.
All right. Yeah, if there's anything else you guys want me to do, I'll be happy to do that for you. Like we just mentioned, man, we're sitting on $12. We're sitting on right now $15 of winners right now, just currently in them. So if there's anything you guys want me to talk about, more than happy to do that. Just put it in the chat there, and I'll look at something for you. Where's my bid for NVIDIA? You might be asking. $895, $885. If you are asking, if not, that's fine. That's the only $885. That's the only thing we're doing right now on NVIDIA, is waiting for that one. Yeah, $885. So, that's where we were this morning. We love this trade. Again, we talked about the sticky note. We talked about, sticky note nation. We talked about all that kind of stuff with you guys earlier. And it's really been, quite a good opportunity here to show you, what we're, I'm on my messages here. I got to cancel those. All right. So this is what we're sort of talking about. You want to have an idea of what you're trying to do. So Tesla short is right now $1.30 in the money. Disney, we didn't have that long. Didn't need it. Apple short, the only loser that we had. NVIDIA short is what we're in right there. And then the Boeing breakdown happened right in front of everybody. And that name was, I don't want to say the easiest name because nothing's really easy, but that one, the fact that it fell late was the problem, but it was definitely a negative catalyst. So that was pretty simple. 185 break. Okay, so now that I'm looking at this, I'll look at the chat in 1 second here. Where is it? Boeing. So we don't even have a stop right now on that. So let's just use 185, right? So again, the futures are going to print wherever they do. We do have the imbalances coming at 850, so that, or 850 at 350, 185.02. And we will get out of everything. Chris Bretcher joining me tonight on the market recap show. So despite us, again, putting through some damage here, we're still putting in that work for you. Tonight, traders stay late. Levi's going to be a very, very interesting read in print as we see where this one goes. Again, Levi's, we were looking at that earlier. Reporting tonight, post-market, April 3rd. Short float was pretty good, 12 and a bit. Nice pullback yesterday on PVH earnings. But yeah, for right now, it's looking like, great move off this year.
BlackBerry too.
Is BlackBerry tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they were the same day.
Are they?
It's Wednesday, right?
It is Wednesday. Yeah, it is post-market tonight. Yeah, okay. What is the price? $2.80. Okay, so they do have a short float of $7.
That's not that good.
At 53 cents. So yeah, we'll look at BlackBerry.
There's an early imbalance out
I'll
on.
put that on my board.
Not a lot of big names on the early imbalance. However, one stock that had moved a bunch today is up here. Altria had a bit of a move today. You can probably figure some of that out, but there's a early look buy imbalance on MO of 2.4 million. It's probably notable because there was a decent sized flush at the open on Altria, kind of down 43 to 42. It's an early look buy imbalance. That gets interesting for me because if it pops, if it comes out a buy and then you get a pair off event, then you can try to short the pop because the trend has been down. So if it comes out a buy and then pairs off, then you just short the pop. But I'll be keeping eyes on MO here. It's the only thing of note since we got the early look imbalances. I suppose Toast used to be a thing at 600,000 to sell, but it's the only thing I'm watching that looks remotely interesting on the early look imbalances. Yeah, Joe Schmo, BlackBerry. I mean, it's at this point the interest in BlackBerry is that occasionally it makes a squeeze move. Like that's it. Like it's not. I don't even have one anymore, and I was literally the last person on earth that owned one. And I actually think, like maybe it wasn't me, but out of every single human being that I know, I was the last person to have one. So even I'm away from that ship. But if it does go squeezing, it's done 10, 15% moves on earnings plenty of times. So I think that's the reason we're going to be interested in it, not because I think it's a good investment or anything. That ship sailed a long time ago.
All right. 207. I said we would just sort of wait to see if anything happened here with NVIDIA into the close. I'd be pretty happy at this point getting an 894 print. So I'm just going to put a stop in for that. We talked about this and not trying to get overly greedy, but we already did. So if it prints higher than that, then okay, here it goes right now. You see what I'm talking about? So here's a nice little move back up to the upside, 894.01. That might come in very, very soon, but we'll just get out of it all because this is what trading is. So there it is. All right, we could have had 890 there for this. It's just a small piece, but we'll still take it out if it does go. We did talk about Boeing breaking through 185. That might be an out rate here because it is taking the 50 period. So if you are, sensitive to 20 cents, this is not a horrible spot. Tesla's still getting worse. So despite the market, remember when we were talking about this, when I said, oh, wow, the Tesla is not doing anything. Meanwhile, the market was kind of doing nothing as well. Well, there we go. The market did fall and so did Tesla. So right now, despite the market moving up, Tesla's still going down. And there it is, man. Another good one there to end the day on Tesla. So yeah, we can have
iRobot reversed the entire move.
Oh yeah, well, we said that story might not have had anything to do with anything.
That's the problem because it's not like Apple said anything about iRobot. It's just everyone's speculating that it could have happened, which is great on the way up, but when it's only speculation, unfortunately that's what can happen. It's still not, maybe it's an opportunity because it just came back into 830. If it goes even remotely sideways green here, I think it's worth a shot. I took a shot in Apple right in here, 169.65. It got down to the 40s. I got some out, and then it came right back up. There's where I was playing it off of, previous support to resistance. It broke it, I get out of the trade. Ugh. Simple setup there. Kanye saying they still have the BlackBerry Key 2 as their second phone. Well, I guess technically speaking, the Key 2 is my second phone as well. Technically, because I still have it. And if something would happen to my Pixel, I would have to use my Key 2. So I'm with you on that one, but I don't really use it for anything. I actually think I might just end up giving it to my daughter because she likes the keyboard.
Yeah, both my kids have iPhone XRs or something. All right, over to the desk with A.
This part of the show brought to you by Trade Ideas. Real-time scanning and alerting used in our desk by many of our traders every day. See what's moving in the moment with Trade Ideas. Check out the link in the description for 20% off.
This is actually a very good point by ComputerNet there. Is if they wouldn't let Amazon buy it, would they let Apple buy it? The answer to that is probably no. But I would put almost every big cap, Mag 7, whatever you want to call it, every acquisition currently in the U.S. administration is going to get under scrutiny, and it's going to be trouble getting that done. Everything's been held up, and Microsoft was able to punch through Activision, but you followed that, you know how hard a deal that was. Coffee Trader, if you had to choose only one strategy to trade, which would you pick? So it's going to be a version of, I always call it like the pop and fade or grip and rip. I suppose, I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but it's something along these, so I'm going to show you kind of an idea of what it looks like with the trade I like. And it works in either direction, and it'll generally be a stock which is showing you a key price, like NVIDIA. Here's 900 on NVIDIA. You had a top yesterday. You had a close the day before at the 900 level. So it jumps into that level, shows a resistance there, shorted right tight to that level, and then back into the first resistance at like 95. Like that's one of my favorite sort of setups because it's light risk, very tight stop, where you've got $5 worth of room for it to move, and you might risk less than $1 on that trade. And it works in both directions. Like I would say Reddit was an example of that I didn't get yesterday. So we're talking about Reddit. It's actually even the lesson of the day. Like it goes into a previous bottom, kind of wicks it, and then it reverses off of that, so it holds a low. It's like the grip and rip, like the dip and rip, I suppose you'd call it, or the pop off a previous resistance level, and then like that little mean reversion trade. I just feel as if there's something in play every day, and it's a type of setup that really works. But there's so many out there, like breakout plays that we like. Those were great on NVIDIA. Breakouts were great on NVIDIA 2 weeks ago. They just aren't, like, when was the last time we had a breakout trade on NVIDIA? I don't remember. But like 2 weeks ago, or before I left for vacation, that was like 6 of my last 7 trades in NVIDIA were all like double and triple top breakouts. And then those have just gone by the wayside because NVIDIA hasn't been the same kind of stock when I came back. Like before I left for Florida, there were all kinds of, when it was bouncing off the 850, there were all kinds of like bullish moves where you could find these. Like this breakout here was a great one, triple top breakout. I love those, but they didn't set up today.
Yeah, they definitely didn't set up today. All right, we're still we're an $11 winner there on NVIDIA. We could talk about that. Again, this is why if you're looking for trade setups and trade ideas, like we talked about our trade plan for NVIDIA, and it just worked perfectly today. Levi Strauss, its last move was only 1.3%. So that could be something to look at coming in today. But there's BlackBerry's last move was 12. Both are implied double digits right now. So that's nice. So that'll be an interesting move. Nothing else is really Nova Gold. We could see some gold movements coming through there as gold's been, obviously at all-time highs as we continue to talk about that. And then Acuity Brands was this morning at the largest market cap. So BlackBerry's still 1.6 bill. So still a decent market cap there for BlackBerry, and definitely something to look at into the close. Again, a 14% move for BB is expected, and not much else coming through. If we have the earnings board, we can get
Holy
it,
crap,
but we don't.
VGC's still
That's not really a
Are the
move.
weed names back?
Yeah, there's Weed Batman, baby.
28% on CGC. What's ACB was 42?
Wow. Okay.
40,
All right, this is a better day.
44%.
Better day than I thought. Maybe.
What else is there? Tilray's up 17%. MSOS is up probably double digits. Let's
I'm
call it
liking
10.
all of this.
Oh, actually, no. Yeah, you know what? MSOS is not going to move the way those do.
No.
It's up 3%. But like every single weed name is up. I bet you Sundial's even having a good day today. SNDL. Nothing against Sundial. Sundial's up 20 points as well. 22% to the upside. This could be the start of, although I don't know how it'll end, but it could be the start of something interesting. Sundial, for the record, come to this daily chart. This is, if the weed names are going squeezing, we're going to the quad and we're going to squeeze. 250 on Sundial. Once, twice, thrice. Maybe there's like a technical, like it looks like a really, really weird W, but that's a triple top on a name that could squeeze. And it's a reverse split as well. The float's kind of ridiculous because they reverse splits a couple times. But yeah, 250 looks interesting. Maybe not with 17 minutes to go, but if this weed run continues, why not Sundial? Really? Because like, what else was a good long today? Micron, Dell, and every cannabis name was your longs for today. Let's go back to Adara.
Just got a note here from Paramount that's coming in a couple minutes ago here. Wall Street Journal reporting that Paramount board members are pursuing exclusive Skydance merger talks, and that Apollo Global Management has also offered $26 billion for Paramount. So these talks continuing to heat up here. Also seeing some reports from Bloomberg here, but nothing confirmed yet, that Skydance and Sherry Redstone and the Redstone family of Paramount are still in talks. Lots of discussion online in regards to this name, so keep an eye on PARA, getting lots of volume spikes here, guys.
All right, give a little Paramount love there. I just want to say that the only long idea that we did actually have today was Alibaba, and it would have been another one.
Another one.
All right, it's too many another ones. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That was right there, $72. It's been on pretty much every single sticky note, but today we were too biased because when it opened up, it was really close, and I was just like, we could have just taken like a small amount of shares there and tested it, but when it came back in there, we sort of, again, 12 o'clock, I wasn't here, no excuse. Well, it is an excuse, because if I was here, I might trade it, but we weren't. So right there, 72 and change coming in, 72.12, 72.10, but all right, fine. Now tomorrow that we've seen that, we could definitely have a look to see if that's what it is. So right there, we'll have a quick look at that level there, 72.12 coming through for Alibaba. Hopefully we get a little dip opportunity in that one. All right, man, NVIDIA is just spinning its way down lower here, I feel like. Let's dig itself a little bit of a hole. We absolutely, like I said, big time trade here today. We don't show P&Ls, but I can tell you this is P&L 1, obviously. Let's just see what happens now. 890 coming in right now, could break lower. Let's see if it does. I could actually change this now. We were going to get out at 894 if that broke higher. Now let's just use 893, okay? Because we're going to try to just, basically ride this 50-period moving average, the same stuff that we've been doing over and over again. So 893.01 there to get out. Bang, we'll put that offer in there as we just start to get ready to go into the close. Tesla is retracing back. This could be another level that we maybe get out at for Tesla. We should have probably got out there, but if you zoom this back out a little bit for Tesla, we were still thinking VWAP and lower, but that makes sense. We already bottomed out there again, bottomed out. So Tesla's looking really strong. I really, really like this name for a long. I just hope that tomorrow I can wrap my head around that trade. 168 will get out of Tesla. So again, pretty good trading happening here.
Make sure you mention this in the recap.
Yeah, I will.
Oil held a breakout today. So if you're looking at CL, it held, whatever, double top, smiley face, whatever name you want to give that. Nice hold. It broke out and then kind of went. There was a little bit of a pullback, but then it's held pretty nicely. And then you look at the individual names. Okay, usually I pull up XOM for Randy, but I'm going to look at CVX because that's the one I own. Oh, come on, daily chart. But CVX consolidating off the top, 160 it's holding. Let's go to XOM. Maybe the daily chart's going to do some better justice. 120, you're getting a consolidation off the top. When a stock goes to the highs and then wants to consolidate, you love it because what it can do is make another leg higher. And XOM's been on a tear. My daily chart deciding it hasn't traded. It started trading in March, which obviously XOM didn't do. But energy names, they have the power right now.
Yeah, and who would have thought, honestly, like an ETF would just outperform so badly some of those other names. Like this XLE, look at this chart. Just ripping up here. I don't know, we have not sold any of this. Still working, still going. Great levels for oil, man, still going to the upside. We only have 3 minutes. I'm going to hold on to XLE. Maybe next time I have Nas on, I'll ask him about that one because me and him have gone back and forth with that. All right, so that's a nice trade. Tesla's still bouncing. We did put that 68 fill in there. We do have our NVIDIA now just a minor $12 winner for that name. Boeing is still $3. And then let's just check back in on Apple as we're getting ready to close out the show. Oh, I do want to remind everybody, stay with us afterwards as we get the market recap show. It's a little fun show that we do after hours. And there it is right now with Chris Bretcher. There's BlackBerry. Oh, yeah, Disney. Yeah, okay. We'll talk a little bit about
because
Disney.
of the vote.
Yeah, Boeing and Levi's. So a bunch of interesting stories there that I hopefully will be able to talk about into the close. So some fun stuff happening for us all here. Just waiting. None of my orders are really printing out right now. Apple does make a pretty solid recovery. We were talking about buying that 169 dip, and unfortunately we weren't there. But that was a great dip buy into 169.20. Probably a missed opportunity there. But so far, so good there. Yeah, and earnings, XOM is 20% of XLE. Good. So, I'm really happy with the way that that's been performing. So Rivian as well, Tesla, they're all, Rivian bounces near off 10. I'm still on Apple. Rivian is still bouncing off 10 as well. But yeah, this is another name that might have some interest in it. I don't know.
Just one thing, Disney continues. Just because you were mentioning it, you're still holding the low on Disney. It's a little bit of a bounce, but obviously it doesn't matter what we think or what I think. I'll speak for myself. At the end of the day, this was running up into this battle, and the first day is a sell. Tomorrow, I can tell you, I just did not delete the 113 resistance line. Usually if a stock does this off a resistance and does higher lows into a flag and breaks out, I'll leave that line in the chart so that when it pulls back in, I'll remind myself, hey, if Disney falls to 113, I should be looking for a long opportunity down there because that was such a good resistance level. I was asked, someone just asked the question, what's your favorite setup? And I was like, oh, that whole pop and fade. But really, that's actually not true. It's the most simplistic thing. I like when support turns into resistance. If you have a really good level, like once, twice, 3, 4, like how many times does this stock resist it at 113? When it pulls back in, any bounce off that, I want to go long. I think that's probably my favorite thing, is support turning into resistance and vice versa, because that way you already know it's a significant level before you have to trade off it. Imbalances are about to hit. The only early number was Altria, 2.4 million to the buy side. We'll see if it comes out bigger and smaller. It comes out pretty much exactly as it was. TLT is a sell, 2.8. Cisco, 2 million to the sell side. Who cares about Toast? I'm not seeing any of the big names yet. RY is a bank. Intel's a sell of 800,000. I'm surprised it's not bigger. Apple's a sell of 700,000 shares. That's pretty much it. It's probably going to be a sell imbalance, I'm guessing, but not that big.
Yeah, if Adara has it, she has it. If not, now it's $14 in the money on this one. Yeah, we just showed the imbalances. I can put them up again. Boeing is still going lower. We did get stopped out of Tesla, which is good, man. We'll take $1 on that clean. And then NVIDIA, I mean, we just bounced again off 888s. So I know it's 808 in Heartbreak, but we might just put an 88888 here and see if we can get that and then run away from this trade right now. I don't know if we're going to get an 885 or not. We could just put this on the board and put $14, $15 in our pocket and just move on here. As the market could, when you're dealing with imbalances, we don't really know what could happen. So just be careful with all of this. There's 892. We could get out if it breaks 890 again, but that might happen right away. Here we go. Let's go. Give us that trade. Ooh, we just printed 98 on the bid. We are 10 cents away from a huge trade, a huge P&L trade, and also hopefully one that we've explained a lot to everybody there, and you're able to take advantage of it. Oh, wow, we just bounced off of us again. See, this is a problem when you have orders out sometimes. They bounce off of you, but if it's strong enough, it should really take you out at that level. So maybe we will just do that, and there it is. I'll just punch out right there. What's up to Brendan? Right there. There's the out, getting out at 889 to end it right there. Like I said, probably going to be it is the biggest trade for me this month so far. That is NVIDIA. And there it is, Neil, $14. Good trade there. Now we just got to wait for Boeing to settle down as we are into the close.
If it even settles down, because
let's go.
I'm not completely convinced. Look, the only reason I say it this way is because I own Boeing, and there's like 5 times in the last year that I've said, I'm just going to get out of all my Boeing shares and put it in General Electric because GE Aerospace. And I haven't done it. And every time I hate myself for it. Para is still going to the upside here. Adara did bring you some news there. It's going to close, looks like up about 11%. You can stick a fork in the Vegemite bet. I'll make a pledge. Tomorrow I'm going to make something a little bit more reasonable. Like today I said Disney when Disney
reasonable, I think.
The reason that I thought Disney was reasonable,
I'm fine with the reasoning.
No, it's because it was only $1 away. I felt like it was really easy for it to just pop up $1 and go from 120 to 121. But really, it's like there was an event and it went down. Like it'd be the equivalent of me saying Boeing. Even if I had said, yeah, Boeing only has to bounce $1, it's still bad news and a negative reaction. I'll pick something more neutral tomorrow. Like how about no matter what, it'll be something regarding a Mag 7 name, where I think you have a better chance of it going either way, as opposed to something which is literally trending to death, like Disney is. But it's a good day trading. It's a good day if you hold weed stocks as well. But overall, it's actually not that bad for the NASDAQ. It just feels like it's a red day, but the NASDAQ's up 0.25%. I think that's the thing sometimes you got to keep in mind. Just because you're seeing bleed in NVIDIA and Boeing and yada yada, all this good stuff, there are stocks that are making highs every single day. Shout out to you, Caterpillar. Caterpillar actually doesn't have a red candle in the last hour. I love that stock.
Yeah. I love trading. I love stocks. I love everything. This has been a really, 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 really lovable day. That is for sure. We will end the day at our highest spot, man. It was a really, really good day. here once again. We will talk, stay late with me. We'll go over the numbers on real trading. We'll show you what some of the top traders made yesterday again. We did that yesterday. That was a big hit. Boeing getting out at 185. We already, well, I don't know if that was my stop, but I just canceled it. So you know what? I mean, I got to get all set up here. Boeing, you know, do you just want to put that on the board? I know Patrick just saw that $13 winner. We'll add 3 to it right now. That's 16. Plus, we'll give another $1 on Tesla. So $17, $18 for you since 2 o'clock. We'll take all that. And then we'll put Boeing out right now and see if we can get, oops, that's the wrong stock. My bad. We'll put Boeing out right here on the bid, see if it can fall back down in again. And then, hey, just for you, why not? Let's stay late. So I'll come stay late for you guys. We'll do that. We'll put that on the board. The recap show tonight with Chris Bretcher. Thank you so much for the over again market recap show. There, we'll stay late for everybody and put that up. So, you know, pay attention. It also goes as a podcast later on. Do I have a bearish outlook for the rest of the day? You know what, Odyssey Flights? Stay tuned for the market recap show where I will discuss my outlook for the rest of the week. And then plus I'll be back here tomorrow at 8:30. And the other thing about it is, like I've already, this was written at 8:30, okay? And if you just want to follow it, I can reread it with you right here. Good morning, traders. We have been short the last 2 days. I am looking for a similar spot here again today. All right, so hopefully that helps all of you out right there at Trader TV, Sean. If you need to get directional biases, if you need to get bangers, you can go find that. But also watch us on tradertv.live. Follow all of us over there on social medias. We do it all, and we do it all really well. So there it is. Thank you so much, Sebastian the Piper, and all of that. Hope you guys have great days. With only 4 minutes left, I'll pass it off to Neil, and then I'll go get ready to put in some more work.
There goes Fang. You're right, Hollywood Life. But yeah. Someone just said in the chat that you hate the weed stocks. Sean jokes about the weed stocks. It's like...
No, we're not positive. Like, I don't know.
No, but it's like anything...
0 for 1, or did you trade the other one?
No, so you know what happened today? I said
them.
The exact moment I went long CGC was the perfect moment to go long ACB. Right. It was like, what are you going to do? Like, I just picked the wrong one. It works out to a flat trade. And again, I don't care about things like 0 for 1. I care about risk to reward. So I'm not mad about CGC because it was a reasonable risk. Like the way I see it, like if you go here for the long and I have a relatively decent stop, if you look at the upside, like I'm not risking a heck of a lot. If it goes, I'm taking some profit there, I'm taking some profit 950s and we hold some for 10. The reason I was mad about it was this is 951 and I'm getting out at 957. So the reason I'm upset is because the reason I took that was because of $9 yesterday in the afternoon. At that same moment, this is the move on ABC or ACB. ACB gives you the dip and then the great consolidation hold. It was the stronger stock, it was the better entry, and I simply anchored myself to, and I'll tell you exactly why this happened. I think it's important to go over this because ultimately you can celebrate wins, but you gotta say what went wrong. I traded this because of this double top yesterday. And I completely ignored the fact that ACB was stronger in the moment. So I liked the triple top breakout. So I traded the setup I like instead of the stock that was stronger, which you're going to do. It's absolutely fine. And then what ended up happening after that? 1, 2, triple top breakout. So we say this all the time. If I'm going to trade CGC over ACB because the 1, 2, 3, then when it does the same thing, 1, 2, 3, I got to be long there too. So it's more along the lines of if I trade the stronger stock, I win. If I trade the triple top break, I have 2 trades today and one of them wins and one of them doesn't, and the winner is much bigger than the loser. And that's all that really matters. If you can't set up a trade that makes sense, then you can't trade. Because what'll end up happening is you're just not going to have good risk to reward, or you're not going to have winners that have a reasonable expectation of gains versus how much you're going to lose. That's the only question. The cost of doing business when you trade is how much do you lose relative to your win. So if you have a 10x trade, then you can't be losing 10, 12x when it's wrong. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. But if you lose 2x, 3x, then who cares? Because that's just the cost of doing business. So make sure you're paying for your trades in the right way. Hopefully we do a decent job explaining it away. And that's why I love showing something like this. Like I love to show people, hey, look at CGC. This is what could have been done better. That is you learn so much more from that than, sort of everything else there. That triple top, it was gorgeous. And I liked it because of a triple top in the first place. So why not go back to that? Sebastian, appreciate you there. Apparently GME's pushing the high of the day according to Chandler. I'm not going to take any other trades, so I'll take you at your word and then pull it up here. GameStop. Hey man, if GameStop went green, it couldn't have been all bad in the market. That was a dog all morning long. It was a short pretty much all morning, and it's going to hold some higher lows. I have no idea why it's up today, so I'm not even going to speculate on GM up there. 214 slugger, you made money on wheat today. Congratulations to you on that. I'll slap this one for you. I got that one, and then I also have the other one. But I'll slap that one because I haven't hit it. So you hit those wheat stocks. They've been absolutely fantastic. Got to get the camera off me. Throw it on to Adara because you know what time it is. It's countdown time on hump day today, but let's just call it cannabis day. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and you know what to do. Market is closed, and remember what I said. Just because you got NVIDIA and Boeing and all these things dumping, the NASDAQ has closed up today. Up 0.3% on the NASDAQ, up 0.15 on the ES. You had energy names that were strong. You had weed names that were strong. It's important to always get a breadth of what's actually happening because it's easy to get wrapped up in the things that you're trading when they trend one way or another. So let's keep that eye on the prize. I love it when the market's up and the account is up. It's always fun, even if you made most of your money short. Shout out to Fabian and Ramin on the ones and twos. Great job. Love the topic this week and every week on Learn to Trade. Obi crushing it as Streef is fighting lions and tigers and bears, but you're learning to trade each segment of the day, which I think is an important topic. Shout out to Adara and Obi for doing that. Great guest today, as we always do. Shout out to Brendan for our interview. I think that was a fun one as well. And hey, you got some earnings tonight. And you know what? They're both anticipated double-digit movers. I'm just going to make it up and say BlackBerry moves more than Levi's based on absolutely nothing. But one of those two is going to make a double-digit move, almost guaranteed. You're going to be able to see it live and more because I think Chris Bretcher is going to be on with Sean in the Market Recap Show nowish.
Yeah, nowish works for me. All right, let's go over some of these markets. Welcome to the Market Recap Show. And yeah, Neil is absolutely 100% right, man. Some of those bangers there at the end of the day really created some great movement. Uranium, XLP, FXI, a couple nice movers coming through there today. XLE has been really impressive. Thank you so much for joining once again today. We will have Chris Bretcher coming through. Oh, man, there we go. I just got the document for the podcast. No rest for the wicked over here, my guy. You know what? I said to my wife, I was like, I'd really like to get into some reading. And she goes, when? And I was like, you know what? You're right. I ain't got no free time. We'll find something. I think like 20, 30 minutes before bed, maybe a possibility there, but then I'd fall asleep and probably only get through 10 pages. So that may take me a year per one book. But you know what? Hey, we're here. Audiobooks? Yeah, I listened to some on the way in. You know what? I got some good podcasts to listen to on the way in. You know, I mean, we don't really listen to our own, but we got one coming up. Why don't we do you have that graphic coming there for the podcast? All right, let's go, guys. Yeah, there it is right there. Whoops, live on all socials. Yeah, let's go. I like that one, actually. You know, I like to get that on my board. That'd be really cool. Thank you so much for we'll think about that. For everybody joining us one more time here, I'm going to load up the YouTube and see how many people are here with us. As we do have Levi's earnings, we are brought to you again by the Benzinga Pro platform. So let me just refresh that, go to the top and see if we do get Levi's coming through or not. We will drop that for you immediately. Over 3,200 of you watching with me right now. So thank you so much for that. We'll bring the same energy on this as we do on the normal show as per usual. Right there, what's up to Marcelo? What's up to Lobos here? What's up to EK Santo? Ravi Patel, everybody, Trey Only. What's up, Trey Only? Nice to have you here as we will wait for some earnings to come through, including BlackBerry, including Levi's. XLE, man, the oil space continues to just blast, right? Great little level there. We did have some news coming through on oil today, of course. Oil prices on Wednesday rose, tightening of the oil supply. Just talking about OPEC Plus decided to recommend changes to output, production cuts to the end of June. So, I mean, XLE continues to make new moves higher here. Look at the daily on XLE, man. You want to talk about something breaking out, and this is something that we've had in our portfolio for a minute. I didn't buy any energy stocks. We talked about that. I'm actually surprised that on a weekly chart, we basically have very similar moves to this as we do in the NASDAQ. Normally, like, energy is kind of a hedge against NASDAQ, but it looks like right now breaking higher. This is a weekly. Man, we nailed this one. XLE, congratulations. Anybody's rocking with that. Yo, I see someone saying, what's up? So I'm going to say what's up to you, Hans Beer. What's up, Hans? How's it going? What's up, Elon? Hi, Elon. Hope you're having a good day as well. But you know what? You can't have a good day unless you stay hydrated. We ready to rock, Ramin? Because it's Hydration Nation. Damn, Ramin, you getting good at that one, girl? Nice one right there as she puts that up right when we take this sip. We'll welcome Chris Brecher very, very soon into the building. All right, if Levi's doing anything, that's great. Why are people putting Google in here? Okay, hello, all right. Google right now with a nice move up. This is your boy's largest holding, and there goes Google in the aftermarket. A shot upside, it looks like here. Let me flip this over and go into a 1 minute chart just to see. Come on, chart, let's go. Whoa, hello. Anniversary yesterday, spent all the money. Make it today, as there it goes Google. Let me go find out what's up with that right now. Okay, I'm going to get this story for you in just 1 second because Brendan stays late. Insiders consider charging for AI-powered search in big change to their models. So there you go. So again, we'll see what's going to happen here. We do know that search is going to be changed dramatically. Like, I use Perplexity, honestly. Like, I'll just ask Perplexity, hey, Perplexity, what Maple Leaf holds the records for most goals scored in a season? Generally, I would have Googled that. You know, but Perplexity will just give you the answer. It doesn't give you a link to a website or anything like that. Google does summarize, which is great, but that's a nice move up. Thanks, Brendo. There it is, bang. So maybe clip it with that one because Google with the nice move up on AI-powered search. Big changes coming. Nice move up for Google, as I believe, right? I mean, we've talked about this over and over again. Google right now taking out, yes, sir, taking out, what's up, Ramin? Taking out all-time highs. It's Google. And it's wonderful, Fabian. You use any of those AIs, like any of those large language models, Perplexity, or which one do you prefer, Chat?
I'm comfortable with ChatGPT. Gemini's just fun.
Gemini?
It's broken. It
Okay.
lasts a lot.
So you can't hear what he's saying. Gemini, fun but broken. Chat is GPT is the most stable, according to our guy Fabian here, and one that he is comfortable with. So I think that's actually it's the comfortable with. I think Fabian, that's really going to matter because if you're building your platform around like using Copilot with Microsoft, then yeah, your tools are going to be ChatGPT based, maybe Bing, Microsoft Cloud. And that's what you're going to be comfortable with, you know. And I just feel that wherever you can get it. So if group and trust, right? I mean, I think we can. Yeah, I mean, with some of the data breaches and stuff. Anyways, there goes Google. That's what it looks like on the daily. This is what it looks like on the weekly. Either way, man, we are starting to break out on Google. Maybe if Mr. Chris Brecher is around, we can get his opinion on Google. Big one right there for us. Okay, what else do you want to talk about? As that was breaking news right there. So again, thanks, Brendo, and thanks everybody for mentioning Google in the chat, because without the team of people that we have, we wouldn't be able to be as successful as we are. Okay, gold again. And we're talking about success. I'm talking about bigger than what we're doing right now, baby. Let's get this show on the road. Look at this, nicely done. 212 and breaking higher. By the way, right now. Hey, what if Trader TV Live? I want to see. You know what, Bears versus Bulls? Let me know, because right now we have over 3,000 people watching. Something that Obi was going to was some of these summits that I see. What about if we had over 3,000 watching? What if we had a Trader TV Live summit? You know, we'll chill out. We'll have some keynote speakers, man. We'll fly in Mr. Noss. We'll have Danielle Shea. We'll have Fabian talk as well. We'll have all this. We'll have some drinks. We'll have some dinners. Let me know if that's something that all you guys want to discuss right there. Neil just actually stepped out. I know there was a discussion there as he talked about it on the show, getting a get-together through. But let us know if that's something that everybody... Would anybody come to Toronto? I mean, first of all, if you've never been to Toronto, I mean... Ramin wants everyone to stay out. But you know what? Come through. Oh, by the way, and then leave. Yeah, no. But the thing about it is it's 30% discount on your dollar. So like if you're in New York City and you're going out for dinner, like yesterday was okay. We dropped about 170 between the two of us, right? We had some drinks, blah, blah, blah. Bottle of wine, food, that's it. Affogato, we're out the door. But if you're spending that in New York, 170, scratch 30% off that. That's what the difference is with just higher potentially quality experience. So anyways, come through. Yep, here we go. Okay, so attention summit. We have reached the peak. Yes. Everybody wants to come through for that, but I'm just talking out loud. So, all right, 10, FXI. We could see some problems here in China for sure, man. But right now it's still holding out. I still like FXI. We've talked about the yin and the yang. Actually, shout out to Chris Brecher again on the yin and the yang. He actually wants to talk about, and just so you guys we're going to talk about this a little bit. Agriculture. We don't talk about that enough. The DBA is something that I should probably add in here. It's not overly aggressive. It looks like that on the daily chart, but generally speaking, I don't really see big moves in this, but we may have to add agriculture. As by the way, Mr. Brecher and everybody else, what's up with cocoa right now going to the upside there? 10,000, up 250% on those futures. What's up, Hans? Beers would definitely join us. I'd like to just meet everybody. When I was in Miami, I was with my kids, and we went to some burger joint. I think it was Shake Shack, actually. We have pictures up on my Instagram, and someone recognized me in Shake Shack, and that was really super cool, all the way down there in Miami. I think that would be a lot of fun to meet some people. What's up? Levi's is now out. So let's go over in there and have a quick look. Thank you, Fabian, for that. Levi right now. Okay, we talked about this move back into some support. So there it is, up to $20 right now. Flip it over. It's Levi Strauss, and it is in the building, ladies and gentlemen, with a nice little move to the upside. And here it is. So I can report it now because it is on Benzinga. So we're very, very careful about what we report. We don't want to mislead anybody. There it is right here. From Benzinga's trade desk here. 26% beating 21 cents. So good on the EPS. So that's a nice beat. And on the bottom as well, we have sales and EPS both beating. So that's good. So boom, we talked about when Ramin's wearing the Canadian tuxedo and I've got jeans on, we're doing something right. Levi's with the win rate there. Nice move. But what are they guiding? That's really the question, right? So here's the EPS guide. Guiding right now 115 to 125 against 117. Guidance from 115 to 117 with a 121 estimate. So it looks like their high side and low side 121 still kind of falling in the middle, but a little bit of a higher guidance to the high side on that. So Levi's, good little number on that one for Levi Strauss, and it looks like they are sort of leading back to the upside. I talked about this yesterday. I even tweeted it out. We talked about PVH and how they missed and guided low. Actually, they didn't miss. Their guide was lower, sending PVH to the downside. So here's Levi's again. Nice upside move. Right now up 8%, right back into that high. Remember yesterday I was like, what's the news for Levi? Why were we down 8%, right? Here's PVH. So sometimes you got to channel check. We tried to do that and then it backfired. I thought that people weren't wearing too much Calvin Klein or Tommy Hilfiger. Then I remembered I was wearing them. So was Ramin. We both had on pieces of clothing, but that sends to the downside. Look at PVH. Today, another 3%. It does matter where you are, not just the sector, but it also matters the name. So PVH downside. Meanwhile, Levi Strauss, again, a recent entrant into the market. Remember, recent IPO, daily chart kicks it up here, looking to take out that high. I'm going to believe this is close to all-time or recent highs because all-time highs we had up here, again, came to market, had that move down, huge rip up to $30 and a big fade back to 10. So there is room to go on Levi's and a short float of 12%. This gets my brain. Although this is 6 hours of live trading plus a trophy day. But we're still staying here with the recap show. Only 4:13 right now. All right, let's go find out if anything is happening right now. LUNR is skyrocketing. A shout out right now. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I'm going to try. What's up to Russell? Shout out, Russell. You do get an LUNR move right now to the upside. Let's just go over and see what is happening on the daily. We got to flip this over. Hold on a second. The 1 minute chart sending this, look, 2% right now. Let's just have a quick look. I thought it was starting to move. Yeah, nice move to the upside. The story here, and then we're going to bring out Chris in a minute, is Moon Racer team awarded NASA terrain vehicle contract. I think that's pretty cool. So there it is right now, LUNR with a nice move up. But guys, don't get it twisted. The daily chart on this one is a fail. So nice to get some good news coming through it there. What's up, Odyssey Flights and everybody out there as well. Okay, if we're ready, I'm ready. We're ready. And it's Chris Brecher.
John, how you doing?
You know what? I'm doing actually pretty fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. And how are you doing?
I'm okay. We're fired up on, well, I'm fired up about you mentioning YINN. Thanks for doing that.
There you go. I mean, hey, you brought it to our attention. I'm going to give you the credit on that one as well. China's been a pretty good trade, I feel like, over the last little bit. Any positions currently? YINN here, going 3 times bull. You've brought this to our attention down here, $17, $18. Looking at this name now breaking up, looking to break through 20 and starting to go through again. What's up, Nelson, my main man there in the chat, was just talking about Miami. What do you see here on yin? Good call so far, but it's looking like it might be exhausted a little bit up here near 21.
Probably exhausted. I'll show you like an overbought, oversold. I'm going to visit my son in South Carolina tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, so that guarantees all heck's going to break loose, and they'll just throw you money in everything you trade. I mean, we know that, so, but I just want to let you know I'm going to be gone. But let me show you what I'm looking at in FXI.
Sure, let's go.
So, number one, you're right. It's getting overbought on a daily chart. Definitely getting overbought like you see on the bottom, right at that resistance. So, the prior bottoms, prior tops. But I have an interesting trade for you that you'll like. This is right up your alley, a pairs trade.
Uh-oh.
So EWJ or the Nikkei, this is the sort of mirroring the Japan index, hasn't been the same since they said they'll stop buying their equity ETFs. So I'm thinking of buying FXI and shorting EWJ once the oversold MACD on the bottom on EWJ is worked off, and once the oversold and the overbought on the FXI, I'm going to try to figure some trade. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. So, but I'm real interested in a pairs trade of buying China, shorting Japan, because my goodness, the Japan market has done that ever since. Well,
yeah, the yen is near lows, right? The yen. So you might be onto something right there as the DXY, the US dollar, continues strength. So I could see Japan pulling back a little bit. I do like the EWJ. Are you normally into emerging market trades, or this is just a pairs trade that sort of came up to your mind? Is this something that you
it's just a pairs trade I sort of came up with.
Okay.
And in fact, that's a lady that I follow real closely on the internet that I really respect. It was her idea. So I don't want you to think I'm Mr. Genius here. So I just want to let you know that.
Just Mr. Handsome. All right. Agriculture, Chris. You had messaged me about a couple different ideas. We had talked a little bit over email. It's been a long day. Oh, by the way, how's the back, by the way?
Well, I'm having a complete knee replacement May 3rd. I can't wait.
The back is fine. The knee is the problem.
Yeah. So
okay, I'll remember that.
I want to tell you an interesting story about the Nikkei if you have time.
Is that because you thought about the Nikkei because we're talking about the knee? Is that what happened? Because that always happens to me.
No.
And then I get blamed like, oh, great pun. But it was like, it just happened sort of naturally. Yeah, let's go, man. Story time with Chris Brecher.
All right. This is a crazy story from when I was crazy trading on the floor. So the Nikkei. This is the Nikkei up here, that parabolic move, sort of like looks like the AI revolution. Don't ask me why, but Denmark started selling put warrants on the Nikkei. So they were called Kingdom of Denmark put warrants. So when it was doing parabolic, I was buying these put warrants at $3. That's what I was doing because I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I bought 10,000 here, 10,000 there. Next thing I know, I'm long 300,000 of a $3 warrant.
Okay.
$900,000 of warrants. And then I had a trip to hedonism in Jamaica. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go.
What?
So I had to find a place that had a TV so I could watch CNBC.
Yep.
And you had a lot of people say, what on earth are you doing? like finding a TV for CNBC. I was so nervous in it. So I sold them at 4. I mean, it was a good year, good month. Selling them at 4 on their way to 10.
Well, hey, you know what? You stress it out. You're on vacation. The wife probably didn't like you searching around for a CNBC monitor there, but you found one. You made money on the trade, so that's all good. But up to $10. Look, we always sell our winners a little too early. I remember when I was in Rome and there was a major rebalance, and I was trying to remote into our software so I could trade it as well. And it was like, I guess the rebalance would have happened at 4 p.m. So it was like 11 or 12 at night. And here we are supposed to be on a patio having some vino. And here I am at whatever hotel we were trying to remote in, which it didn't work because the damn firewall. So I had some explaining to do that night. But hey, isn't that the best about our jobs? You know, we come in every day. We actually don't really know what we're going to get into. And then we're able to, you know, trade whatever we see. All right, Chris, 420 right now. This is kind of, I guess, maybe a little topical. Have you been looking at any of the marijuana stocks? I mean, look at CGC today again, a monster. I'll give you a second. Come over to my charts here, Amin. CGC really starting to blast up again. A name that was, Chris, $3 back about 2 weeks ago, now up to 11. We had ACB, Aurora Cannabis say, scratch that. We were also $3 and we'll go up 50% today, up to $7.50. We have Tilray starting to pop off a little bit. Again, wow, I was throwing some fun money at this, and I even said it on the show.
Yeah.
Let's average in, fun money, average not on the product, my guy, in the stock. As we were back down into here, I said, you know what? I'm holding the bag on this. Let's put some money to work at these bottoms, and then all of a sudden, puff goes the magic dragon, and now we're all the way up here to $10, $11. Does this trade have any staying power?
Well, the thing about these stocks, the CGC, the Tilray, we were in CROM. We had the 2 calls at 5 cents and scratched them, but they expired that day. But the thing is, most of them have cash flow problems. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a rash of secondaries in here and see how they hold up.
Same.
And I saw it in like CRSP. So the stock started going up on good news. And the secondary they did was only $1 under the market. I mean, it was really impressive, and which showed a lot of buying power. Then you have, on the other hand, SMCI, the price their secondary when it was trading at 1,000 at 870. So I think the big deal is going to be where they price those secondaries. Are they going to be where they were 3 weeks ago, or close to the prevailing price? And that'll tell you the future of them, I think.
I mean, look at this over here. Even if you come over to CGC, I know you just talked about Kronos there, but here's the RSI up here at 80. We're touching that again right now. So a couple little top movements here could be heading to the downside off of a nice RSI top. You see what I'm doing over here, Chris? We've got I've now got these markers for the screen because I'm trying to level it up. You know, I'm trying to get like just as good as Chris Brecher does when he draws the lines on the charts. You know, so now I'm trying to do that. So shout out to my friend Michael Noss who sent me that app. Okay, what do you want to talk about? I mean, that's a couple of ideas that we've bounced off of now. I feel like that's great. The chat, by the way, is absolutely loving it. So I want to thank you, Chris, for coming on.
Oh, great!
One more time again.
That's great. I hate looking at the chat because I'm afraid I'll get bashed, and all I hear is like hearts and stuff. I mean, and I'm thrilled.
Good. Well, hey, they love.
I mean, that's really nice.
Look, hey, look, if you're now a friend of the family, so everything is fine. And if anybody says anything bad, I'll just ban them from the chat. No, we don't do that. But okay, let's go. I'm going to give you the floor for a second because you did mention how you're looking for something to trigger something else, and that is something that our traders are always looking for: new trade ideas and something that they can look at themselves.
Sure. The first thing is what you mentioned, the DBA. So this I showed on Twitter days ago. And you know, I've mentioned it for 3 weeks, that if the agriculture fund went up enough, it had to start hitting the bonds. And it's all probability. So the way I look at it, I know that looked like a triangle in the middle, but the probability of that breaking up went down dramatically when the DBA kept going up. So our theory was, and that's where, you know, a theory is different than making money. Because if I just thought this is going up and bonds are going to go down, that the stock market's going to crash, I would have gotten not so hot. So basically we did a creative trade yesterday. because we still weren't sure. And with the unemployment report on Friday and the CPI next Wednesday, you still don't know if that's a false breakdown or break up. But what we did was we played the regional bank index.
Okay.
Because the regional banks don't like bond selling off. So we shorted on this trend line break right here. And then we stayed short with the bear flag and stayed short overnight.
Right.
And finally, we just got out at support today because I'm leaving. So that was a good trade, but all because the DBA went up. So, and you see the correlation even now on a 15-minute chart on how the DBA got nailed and the bonds went straight up, closed on their high. And so the regional bank came back. That's one reason we also covered.
Yeah, I really like that gap fill. I was going to ask you if you didn't cover, if potentially looking for a fill back into that gap might have been your stop. But again,
that's a great question. Well, I'll show you real quick. I definitely think that could fill the 47.5 gap. That's what you're looking at.
Yeah, I thought I thought that might have been your target, and then also the gap that we just even had today from 49.50 back down into 48.50. I mean, you could also cover that if that was going to be a stop, but I do like that.
Yeah, it was just that I was going to be gone, but I decided to do this instead. So I wanted to have something in here, and you know, I could talk about the pot stocks and say I was rolling into one and out of the other, but Western Alliance to me has the worst looking chart in the regionals. So I did something under the market for April 19th. You got a lot for next week. Next week. Figuring that a lot of stuff's coming out. This isn't going to do much. So that's a scary figure. But even if it goes and fills the gap, we'll make money. So that's why I rolled it out of KRE and into that to have something over the weekend.
All right, so WAL is the name that you're looking for as far as the weakest name out of all those regionals. I did see some movement in NYCB today, so we can potentially look at that. But all right, so how long are you gone for? So I don't have you here next week. You gone for a week?
No, just Thursday and Friday.
Oh, just Thursday and Friday. Okay. Enjoy your time, Chris. I think that's about it, man. It's 4:25. Good coverage there. Maybe next week you want to do a little bit of a Q&A. Maybe we'll ask some of the traders out there if they have any questions for you. Again, a lot of love. Traders can find you at Simpler Trading. Anything else you sort of want to throw at anybody here, where they can find you? Anything that else you're thinking about?
Well, you know, I have a lot of followers on StockTwits.
Right.
And a ton of them. And so I talked to StockTwits. I'm like, do you ever want me to do anything interactive? So they had me do a Q&A, and it was so popular, they left it open for 5 hours. I was doing Q&A. So, and it was great. It was a blast. So sure, Q&A, the more questions, the better.
We like that. Mr. Chris Bretcher, thank you so much. Go follow this guy on StockTwits. Have a great little vacation. You deserve it. Thank you so much, Chris Bretcher.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Cha-cha-cha, my guy. All right, we love that man right there, Chris Bretcher. Just real quickly, I didn't get a chance to, I didn't want to interrupt because not really much is happening here, but Google came all the way back. It's all the way back, not all the way up. I wish it was all the way up. But Google did come back in, huh? So I was like, yeah, let's go, man. Biggest holding. Now it's like, meh, meh. But no, it's fine. I mean, it's just into the flat area. I wasn't sure, so I went over to the Benzinga platform again, and honestly, I just typed in here Goog, so you can go get this. This has been a really good platform. There's lots of interesting things. You can call up details of different stocks, find different ratios and whatnot, and fool around with the charting and everything. This is the pro platform. You can find the link in the chat, in the description. But again, trading higher following reports suggesting the company will consider charging for AI-powered search. So we did get that, a big change in the business model. So for me, it's kind of like, we know that there has to be some kind of change, because I already used that example about not really searching traditionally the way that we had in the past. Yeah, that would make sense. Not necessarily going to Google and getting sort of that ad revenue from different ads popping up or different websites being choice 1, 2, or sponsored links or things like that, right? So if they're going to change that, that may go through some growing pains. And I don't think the market really, they like change, and I think that that's important. So I think we've got to have to let this settle down. But as far as we used to have a segment on this show called Tomorrow's Trade Today, and I already know that I'm going to be looking at Google tomorrow, because of this movement rate alone. You don't take out 158, rip to the high side there, and then just get faded right back to the bottom and now going lower, 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 as potentially they take some time to explain what this is or whatever, whoever released this gets a little bit more details. But Google right now is going lower. And on the daily chart, I mean, I still really like this. And I said this on the show today. I was really happy when we went to 158. I thought it was doing pretty good. But what about just a rotation out of some names and into the indexes now? We often talk about if you're out of something, you can sit in cash, that's great. But if you get an outperformer like this is, 133 up to 153, there's nothing wrong with cashing a little bit out. I think a good example of that would be Disney. And we didn't get a huge chance to talk about this today. Not really on the show, we did talk about it, but here on this show. With Nelson Peltz again today not getting those seats, we were uncertain of what that might mean for the market, but the market's not uncertain at all. This is a big sort of kind of like FU candle the other way to the board right now, saying, you know what, you just cost your shareholders 3% because we kind of liked getting new management in here and a potentially new direction for the company. It's just the boards, 2 board seats, I get it, but they don't get any. Nice little fallback down in there. We took some off the table at 120, 150. We really like Disney, but at some point you got to take some out. And I think even tomorrow morning, when people wake up and say, uh-oh, what's going on with Disney and what's going on with my shares, they may look back and say, hey, look, even though, again, something I learned, man, RSI, as you're making highs up here, RSI not making new highs. So, you know, that fade out is obviously going to be pretty dramatic today. But again, a nice push back down in off of this candle high. So Disney is going to be a good trade for us there today. Look, or tomorrow potentially. Look, let's just call it like it is. I don't know why it's always like pulling teeth, but this NVIDIA trade, honestly, I'm looking down here. Let's just hit a bet. I don't have the same tools. But we talked about it. It's all going to be related to each other. Let's go down to the sticky. I'll go to next topic. Sticky note. We had this on here today, and it is what it is. Like, honestly, we're going to give some ideas, and here it is right here, NVIDIA. We even talked about it here. Watch for 900's key. We talked yesterday about 902, 903. We said we're going to wait for 905. So that's a $3 trade for NVIDIA. Like, this is our initial take at 900 and out there at 897. Like, can we get, that's a $3 trade. Let's put that on the board. It does go all the way down in for $5+. We get greedy, we don't take it. Comes back up. Our first average in is that same spot, so we'll put that same spot back on. And these are light trades, which is why we're letting it go. But then when we get up here into 902, and then we get a piece out at 900 again, that's another 250 there. We've already sort of started to bank out some trades now. And then we noticed that, yeah, that 905 that we wrote down on the sticky note came into play. So when it came back up again, I'm like, you know what? Damned if I don't take this. So we take that at 902.50, 902.75, whatever it was. And then it was just like tranche 1, $2. Tranche 2, $8. 650. Screen me. Chart me. I mean. Oh, chart me. Don't worry, Ermina. It's all good. We're in chill mode, baby. 896. Well, I'm just going over these plays, that's all. It's all right, that's all right. There's the next out right there. And why did we get out right here? Pre-market high, yesterday's bottom, $10 there. Oh, but it floats back up, but we sting like a bee, but we don't get it again. We don't get that short because it doesn't come in. Then when it comes back, we're still holding shares. Comes back in, all right, let's get out right here. Why? Because we dipped down in there, we're getting nervous because at this point, it's getting into the end of the day, although it's only 240. Yeah, 240 right here. Ramin, I got this. Then all of a sudden, what Ramin's talking about is, where's the big one? Where's the Big Bang Theory? What time is it? Comes in there into 889. And then that's when the party gets started, man, to the downside. That right there is your $14 clip that winner for you because it is on the board down to $8.89 right there. That's a banger of a trade. But we're not going anywhere. We have one more thing to do, and it's called a roll call. All right, so thank you so much, everybody, staying late with us here today. And again, look, over 2,000 watching right now as we speak, past the time. It's 4:33. Yeah, I'm coming home. No, she didn't call me. All right, it's roll call time. Let's go. Who's still here? Look, CompuCare team, thank you so much. I know you've always been part of this family, so I want to thank you for watching as well. Yes, John, hot dog can, and that's over at the trading desk. Maybe we'll get that over here. But shout out to Bears versus Bulls. Often gets missed, but definitely never forgotten. Thank you so much. Bears versus Bulls, man, you are the best right there. What's up, Trey Only? Marie L, thank you so much. Mary or Marie, however you pronounce it, I want to thank you. Yerp, says Colin. What's up? Derek is here. John Peterson is here. There we go, man. The Big White Buffalo. I mean, I don't know if that's a good nickname, but I'll take it. What's up to Jersey Sean as well? Hey, Jersey, man. Jim T-shirt Laundry. What's up to 420 Bud Monster? You had yourself a good day today if you're along those cannabis names. What's up to Bright Awakening? Rocky G-Man. We got the sauce, baby. What's up, Rocky? What's up to D. Mr. Westermeyer? Yeah, man, the crystal ball. We love that crystal ball. Thank you, Mr. Westermeyer, for that. What up to T. Lee as well, Jim Gamby, Francis, Candy for you, makes you dandy. Thank you so much, Candy. I'd be reminisce to not thank Ramin. Thank you so much, Ramin, for staying late with us as well. Yes, today was one of those trophy days, and we'll see if we can put it on the board for you tomorrow. Follow us at Trader TV Live on every single platform you can think of, I think. And follow us all at Trader TV Sean, both on, not on TikTok, but on Instagram and on Twitter, aka X. I want to give a big shout out to my friend as well and yours, Chris Bretcher. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We stay late. It's hashtag is Traders Stay Late, and join me tomorrow at 8:30 when we do it all again. Thanks for meeting. I'm coming home soon. Thank you to all ye. I'll see you tomorrow.